A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef, no other beef so fresh, can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. K is for Kroger, C is for cut, B is for beef. KCB means Kroger cut beef, and Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. It's a fact, ladies, and here's the reason Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste. Before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Yes, that's before the meat is weighed and priced. So you can see that means more meat for your money. You get top U.S. government grades of beef, meat that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. You get a better value in top-grade beef. For example, when you buy a Kroger-cut porterhouse steak, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the long, stringy end and excess waste before the steak is weighed and priced. You don't pay steak price for stringy meat and excess waste. So remember, whether you buy a steak or a roast, you receive more meat, less waste. But see for yourself. Visit your neighborhood Kroger store. Make it a rule to buy Kroger-cut beef and get more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Barry Carlton will never again ring the doorbell at Penny's house nor cause the telephone to ring. For over a month ago, Barry died. And the Gibbs home is not the same since the accident which took his life, for Penny is still in the hospital. She's coming home, though, and soon. And as the phone rings in the Gibbs home this morning, Penny's invalid foster father, Jed, rolls his wheelchair to the telephone table, expecting news of her arrival.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Billings?
Yes?
This is Frank Carter, Mr. Billings.
Who?
Carter, Frank Carter.
Oh, yes.
You haven't the slightest idea who I am, have you?
Well, I certainly do. How's the law business, son?
Well, you do remember me then, don't you?
Yes.
The law business is fine, Mr. Billings. But the office isn't the same without Penny working for me.
Yeah, don't imagine it is, son.
How is she?
Oh, a lot better. Expect she'll be home sometime this week.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that. When do you think she'll be ready to go to work for me again?
I don't think she'll be ready for work for some time, son.
Oh?
She's still not too strong, and you know about her face, don't you?
Yes, Mrs. Billings told me last time I called. I certainly want her to come back, though. The job's open anytime she wants it.
I know she'll be glad to hear that. But for several weeks yet, she won't be much interested in the job.
Yeah, I can imagine she won't. Look, I haven't tried to call her at the hospital up till now. Do you think there's any harm in trying to talk to her?
No, don't see where it'd do any harm. She might be glad to hear from you.
Well, swell. I think I'll phone down there this morning. It's Heatherton Hospital, isn't it?
Yes, room 303.
Thanks, I'll give her a ring.
You do that, and...
Now, that's not the reason I phoned, though, Mr. Billings.
No?
No, though I did want to know about Penny, of course, but I was told at your office that Johnny Keith might be at your house.
Well, he's supposed to be, son, but he's a little late, as usual.
But he will be there?
Eventually.
Good. Will you have him call me when he has time or come up to my office if that's more convenient?
Why, yes, of course.
Oh, wait, I won't be in the office again till late this afternoon. Have him phone me or drop up to see me sometime after 5 if he can make it.
After 5. All right, son, I'll do that.
Thanks. And you're sure it's all right to phone the hospital and talk to Penny?
Don't know why it wouldn't be. In fact, might cheer up if you did.
I'll do it then. Don't forget to give Johnny my message.
Give it to him first thing, son.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Goodbye. Yeah, now what does young Carter want me? Coming.
Hello, Jed.
Hello, Johnny. Late, as usual.
Couldn't help it, Jed.
I know why you couldn't help it, son. Ran an errand for somebody.
Yes, I did, Jed. But it was one of those necessary things. It was for Mrs. Warren. Her husband's pretty sick, you know.
Yes. Any better today than he was yesterday?
Well, not much. Oh, here are those papers you wanted.
Oh, thanks. Where'd you find them?
Well, for a change, right where you said I'd find them.
Well, at least something at the office was filed in the proper place. Frank Carter wants you to phone him.
Frank Carter? Oh, who's he?
Well, you remember him, Johnny, the lawyer Penny worked for until Barry came back to Rossville.
Oh, yeah, sure I do. And he wants me to phone him?
Uh-huh.
Well, what for?
Well, he didn't say, so I didn't ask.
Well, that's funny. Haven't spoken 10 words to the guy in my life, and now he wants me to call him. Well,
he wants you to call him after 5 this afternoon, Johnny. He won't be in his office till then.
Oh.
He said he'd rather have you come up to the office if that's more convenient.
Wants me in his office?
Uh-huh. What have you done that you need a lawyer for, Johnny?
Well, nothing, Jed. That's why I can't understand why Carter wants to see me. Are you sure he wanted me?
He called up especially to talk to you, Johnny. He'd phoned your office first, and they said you were here.
Well, and he really wants me, huh?
Sounds as if he does.
I can't for the life of me figure out why.
Probably nothing, Johnny. Maybe just information about someone else. You know just about everybody in town.
Well, you're the one who knows everyone in town, Jed. If that's what he wanted, he'd have asked you. Well, I think Carter has the wrong Johnny Keith.
Do you know any others in Rossville?
Well, no. I won't be able to contact him till 5 o'clock, huh?
Not curious, are you, Johnny?
Oh, no, not a bit.
I suppose you heard Penny's coming home this week.
No, I didn't know that. When?
Well, not sure yet. I was hoping I'd hear. Grace went down to Heather to make some arrangements.
Well, Penny must be all right then.
Well, that's what they're going to find out today or tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
They're going to give her a pretty stiff examination before they let her go, and I understand she'll be in bed a while even after she gets home.
Oh, sure, I guess she will. That'll be good to have her home again, won't it?
Yeah, won't be the same, Johnny. Won't be the same girl who comes home to us. Not the same girl who went away.
Well, not at first, Jed. Well, she's anxious to get home, isn't she?
Yes, so I understand.
Well, then she'll soon be the same Penny Gibbs again.
You think so?
Well, sure. Don't you?
No, son, I don't think so at all. How can she be the same person after all she's been through? When that car of Barry's turned over on the Hetherington Road, the world turned upside down for Penny. And it's tough to ride a thing as big as the world.
Well, Jed, Penny's always been able to survive every hurt, every setback, every loss and disappointment.
Yes, but son, this is by far the greatest tragedy she's ever suffered. And, God willing, it'll be the worst she'll ever face.
Well, if she's coming home, Jed, that must mean she's sound in mind as well as in body.
It'll take a long time to find out how sound she is in mind, Johnny. She'll be released from the hospital if she's sound in body. Beyond that, the doctors have no way of knowing how well she is or how ill. Spiritual sickness can't be fought by medicine.
Then, you think Penny will never get over Barry's death, don't you? You think she'll never get back to normal?
Oh, I didn't say never, Johnny. I said it'd be a long time before she was the girl she used to be, if she's ever the girl she was.
Well, there you go, saying it again. You are afraid she'll never be the same, aren't you?
Well, a little, son. But let's keep that between us, eh?
Sure, Jed, sure.
Well, I guess we'd better get to work, son. Or is your mind occupied wondering what Frank Carter wants with you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I've forgotten all about it. Oh, when does he want to see me? At 5?
See either you or talk to you on the phone. Oh, by the way, he said he was going to phone Penny sometime today. Hope he does. Might do her a lot of good to hear from someone.
Hello.
Hello, Penny.
Yes?
Penny, this is Frank Carter.
Frank Carter.
I don't blame you for not remembering me, Penny.
Oh, wait a minute. Of course I know who you are. How are you, Frank?
Fine. Do you really know who this is? Believe me, I'm not trying to play guessing games with you.
No, I really know who it is. How are the new cases?
Say, you do remember. That makes me feel good. Well, the new cases are great. I've won 2 of them, and it looks as if the third will be settled out of court. And in my client's favor, too.
I'm glad to hear that.
I knew you'd be. But look, this is enough about me. I took a chance on calling you because I spoke to your stepfather this morning, and he said he thought it would be all right. I've been plenty worried about you. But I didn't call because,
well, I didn't want to butt in. How are you, Penny? Better?
A lot better, thanks.
I hear you're coming home one of these days.
I hope so. I've had enough of a hospital to last me a lifetime.
Yeah, I'll bet you have. Look, Penny, there's still a job for you here anytime you want it.
Oh, Frank, thanks very much. I know there is, but you better keep your girl to have her or get someone if you don't have a girl. I'm afraid I won't be interested in a job for a long time yet.
Oh, there's no rush, Penny. I didn't hire a girl to take your place because I could handle things pretty well by myself, and, well, besides, you spoiled me. I want you back, Penny.
Oh, thanks. Really, Frank, it's out of the question for now, maybe for a long time. I really don't know how long.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to press you. I hope I... Excuse me a minute, will you?
Mm-hmm.
Come in.
Carter?
Yes?
I'm Johnny Keith.
Oh, yes, Keith. Come in. Be right with you.
Sure.
Still there, Penny?
Yes, I'm here.
Your friend Johnny Keith just walked in. You want to speak to him?
Oh, no, not just now. Tell him I said hello, though.
All right, I'll do that. Well, Penny, I just called to let you know I haven't forgotten you. And maybe you'll let me come to see you when you're home.
I hope you will, Frank. But phone first, will you?
Right. Bye, Penny.
Bye.
Sit down, Keith.
Thanks.
Just talking to Penny Gibbs. She told me to say hello to you for her.
Oh, nice of you to call her, Carter. She's been a pretty sick girl, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame about Carlton. But it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess you might call it that. I understand you want to see me. Or am I the wrong Johnny Keith?
I don't know. That's something you'll have to tell me.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I have to ask the questions, Keith.
Well, go ahead and ask.
All right. Have you ever heard of a man named Clyde Keith?
Clyde Keith?
Yeah.
Clyde, let me think a minute. Clyde. Oh, yes, I have. He was an uncle of mine.
Oh. Do you know anything about him?
Well, no, not much. Not much worth repeating, that is. He was my father's youngest brother, I know that, and not much good, I know that, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm afraid that's about all.
Well, I received a cable from South Africa this morning asking for information in regard to the relatives of one Clyde Keith.
I see. Well, all I know is I had an uncle by that name. Whether or not it's the Clyde Keith of South Africa, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, South Africa wants an answer by cable as to whether or not there are any Keiths still living in Rossville.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose I can tell them what I know?
Well, I don't see why not. What's it to me?
Well, maybe nothing, Keith. But maybe a great deal more than you could possibly imagine.
What does the inquiry from South Africa mean to Johnny Keith? And why does Jed fear for Penny in the years to come? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. Yes, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste, because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. In buying Kroger Cut Rib Roast, for example, you don't pay rib roast price for excess bone and waste. The chine bone is trimmed, the waist and short rib end removed, giving you top U.S. government grades of beef that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. And before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, waste, and stringy ends. So remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat for your money. Warning, tomorrow is the last day of Kroger's Great Hot Dated Coffee Contest. Hurry and enter. See if you can win a big, luxurious Hudson sedan, an Alaska sealskin fur coat valued at $1,400, a Westinghouse laundromat, roaster, or a Just-O-Matic electric iron. 1,160 prizes are being given away in 5 weekly contests, and the final week's contest closes midnight tomorrow. Get your entry blank with full details at your Kroger store right away. Listen again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another thrilling transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, End as a World by F.L. Wallace. But first, hear this.
When the place is fine and the time is right, when the moon is low and the stars are bright.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, X minus 1 and End as a World.
I saw it on the doormat in the front porch. The boy had made a lucky throw, and the paper was spread out neatly on the doormat facing me as I came out of the screen door. The headline was black across the top. They used the big type, the kind they use for presidential elections or when the town all-star Little League team won the national championship. I stood and looked at it through the screen door. I hadn't quite rubbed the sleep out of my eyes, so first all I saw was the little boxes of the screen. And then suddenly my eyes snapped into focus and I read it. This is the day the world ends.
Pete, come in and eat your breakfast.
Well, just a minute, Ma.
Now, you leave the newspaper alone. You can read it later. Come on now, the eggs are getting cold.
Yeah, but Ma, it's today.
Well, what's today?
Well, look at the headline. It's the only thing on the front page. Well, look.
This is the day the world ends. Oh, that. Well, world's end or no, I won't have you eating cold scrambled eggs. Now, you sit right down and eat your breakfast.
I brought the newspaper into the breakfast table. I turned to the sports page. The Dodgers were winning or losing, I forget which, and UCLA was strong and was going to beat everybody they met that fall. An H-bomb had been tested in the middle of the Pacific, blowing another island off the map, just as if we had islands to spare. Ordinarily, that would be on the front page, but not today.
Now, don't get the newspaper in the egg yolk.
All right, Ma.
Want some toast? Peter, do you want some toast?
All right, Ma. It was Saturday. Big things always seem to happen on Saturdays. I ate breakfast and got up. I had the usual things to do, like mowing the lawn, for instance, but I skipped it that day. There wasn't any use mowing a lawn on a day like that. I went out remembering not to slam the door. It wasn't much, but it showed thoughtfulness. I went past the church and looked at the sign that was set diagonally in the corner so I could read from both streets. There it was in big letters, quoting from the papers. This is the day the world ends. Dr. Davidson scheduled a prayer meeting for the calculated time. It was a bright day. People were out walking or just standing looking at the sky. It was too early to look up.
Hey, Pete! Pete, here you are. Catch!
Here. Hey! Who showed you how to throw a football? Hey, catch this!
Hey, nice pass. Here you are, lateral.
I got it.
Here, throw me a long one, huh? I'll run out on that button hook.
No, look, I don't feel like it, not today.
What do we do? Oh, listen, the new issue of Popular Rocketry came in down at Grover's.
Yeah, I saw it.
Well, we could go down and see Howie.
All right.
Pete! Peter?
Hey, your mother wants you.
Yeah, what is it, Ma?
Now, don't go too far. I've got some things I want you to do.
What?
I want you to help me move some trash out of the basement and help me move some of the potted plants around in front.
Ma, what's the use of doing things like that on a day like today?
Never mind. Now, you come back by 11 o'clock, you hear?
No.
Come on. Howie's probably down at Grover's. Hey, look at this high hurdle. I'll go right over the sign. Here I go. Olympic star Paul Smithfield.
He went up over the sign easily. Paul's on the track team in high school. I looked at the sign again as he went over the top. This is the day the world ends. They never said more than that, not in the newspapers or in the signs painted on the brick walls. They wanted it to hang in our minds, something we couldn't quite touch, but we knew was there. We walked along down Green Street toward Grover's.
Oh, what do you think of it?
What?
You know, today.
I don't know. What about you?
We got it coming.
Yeah, but will we get it?
I don't know. Hey, look. It's going to be nice and bright today.
Yeah, it is now.
Might cloud over.
Yeah, it won't matter. It'll split the sky when it comes.
Hey, you hear the new song?
Hmm?
Some disc jockey wrote it. I love you, love you.
Hey, sounds awful.
Oh, listen. I love you, till the day the world ends. I love you, till my heartbreak mends. And a lot more guff like that.
You know, it seems awful. I mean, making a song on a thing like that, you'd think they'd have more respect.
Well, why shouldn't they cash in on it? How about that contest on TV? What will you do on the day the world ends? In 25 words or less.
You know, some people would do anything for a buck.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd have some, I don't know, some understanding of how important it is.
Well, they do. You should see the souvenir stands on Main Street. You know, pennants saying the end of the world, stuff like that.
That's disgusting.
Grover's has an end of the world Sunday. Joey Tripp had one last night. It was really the end.
Yeah, he's a pig.
Yeah, it sure is. Boy, it was really something. With nuts on top.
You're listening to End as a World, tonight's attraction on X-1. Careful planning and sensible driving add up to an enjoyable vacation trip. There are a few tips from the National Safety Council that should help make your trip a pleasure instead of a tense, nerve-wracking time. Before you leave, have the car given a thorough checkup to be sure it will always respond properly to your careful control. Check the emergency equipment you'll need, such as a first aid kit, keys, permits, identification, flashlight, tire-changing equipment, and your unexpired driver's license. Plan your trip for frequent rest stops with a good night's sleep each night. And then on your trip, pay attention to the job at hand and don't daydream. Stop off the road to see the sights or read the map. Be prepared for winding and straight roads, level and hilly roads, and changing traffic patterns between urban and rural areas. Obey all speed limits, traffic signs, and signals, and keep your distance behind the driver ahead. This vacation is what you've been waiting for all year. Enjoy it with sensible driving. Now back to X-1. And End as a World.
We went on to find Howie. He's a little guy, but he can throw a football further and faster than anybody else on the team. Howie was carrying a model of a rocket ship, carbon dioxide powered.
Hey, let's see the model, Howie.
Doesn't work.
Well, what do we do?
I don't know. We could play Salugi.
No, we left the football over at Pete's.
Oh, might as well just sit down in the grass.
Okay.
Hey, I wonder if it'll really come.
Yeah, where will the president watch it from? He should have a good view from the White House.
No better than us right here.
What about Australia? Will they see it over there?
They'll see it all over.
Africa, too. And what about the Eskimos?
Doesn't matter whether they actually see it or not. It'll come to everyone at the same time.
Yeah, how about that? Everybody. Not just in this town, but all over. Wherever there are people and even where they're not.
You know what I keep thinking about?
What?
I keep thinking about the man who made the H-bomb. I bet he felt silly and spiteful blowing up an island. I mean, somebody might have wanted to live on it if he just left it there. You know?
Yeah, bet he'd feel pretty small with his old H-bomb after today. Pow.
My mother's over at the church praying.
What for?
She just said that's what she wanted to spend today doing, right up to the last minute.
Yeah, all the churches are holding prayer meetings.
Town board wanted to close up that carnival on Pearl Street. You know, the one with the cooch tent? They said it wasn't dignified for today.
They close it up?
The manager said he had his license, and he didn't care if today was the day the world ended or not. He was putting on 5 shows right up till it happens.
Funny idea, those girls dancing and then, whoom, it happens. And nobody to look at them anymore.
I can't understand people. Shows and lawns and cleaning the trash out of the cellar on a day like this, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, people get used to doing certain things.
Yeah, but today?
Even today. Well, that's how people are, I guess. Just gotta keep on with what they're doing, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Now, we talked about it for a while, but we talked it out long ago. There was really nothing new we could say. Every once in a while, we'd look up at the sky, but it wasn't going to come until it got here. Finally, I went home for lunch.
Now, you sit still and eat your lunch.
Oh, Ma.
It'll happen without your help. It's going to be all right.
You think so?
I think so. I'll give you your allowance now.
Yeah, but, Ma, it's only Saturday. I don't get my allowance.
Well, I'll give it to you today anyway. You might as well spend it this afternoon downtown.
Gee, thanks, Ma.
All right, I won't keep you over lunch. You can run uptown and watch it from there.
Okay, Ma. You gonna go?
Of course I'm not. Why should I get into that mob? I can watch it just as well from here.
Ma, sure she could. It wasn't the same. Everybody I knew was going to be there. I changed my shirt before I left. I took a rag and wiped the dust from my shoes. I wasn't trying to be fussy or dressed up or anything. I just thought I should do it. I walked uptown slow because there was lots of time to kill. There was shade and sun on the streets and a few big clouds in the sky. I never knew how slow a day could pass. I suppose I should have slept late in the morning and kept busy doing something. Well, this was worse than putting on a uniform and waiting till game time. At least there was a coach on the field to let you know what to do as you ran through the drill. I ran into Paul at the corner of Cross and Chestnut.
Hey, you nervous?
No. Why should I be?
You're not in suspense? If only we had some way of knowing for sure. Radio, maybe.
Oh, there's no radio. The calculations have been checked.
Yeah, but maybe there's something we forgot or don't know. A lot of things can go wrong.
Hi, fellas.
Well, hi,
Howie.
You want to go down to Grover's and get them molded?
I don't know.
Oh, we've still got lots of time. We won't miss anything.
We all went down and had malteds at Grover's. The television was on. They were showing a street in India with people looking up. They flashed all around Italy, China, and Brazil. Except for their clothes, it wasn't much different from here. They were all looking up.
Well, let's get outside.
I haven't finished my malted.
What's the difference in a day like today, huh?
I want to finish my malted.
Outside, I noticed there was a slight overcast. The big billowing clouds had passed, but this was worse. I hoped that it would clear away in time, not that it really mattered.
Hey, it's a pretty big crowd for a Saturday, huh?
Well, this isn't a usual Saturday.
What time is it?
I don't know. You got to watch, Paul?
No. We can see the clock on the merchant's block from the corner. Come on.
Hey, it's Ginny Wexelberg. You see her over there?
Hey, how'd you like to spend the day with her? That'll really make it a big day, huh?
Oh, you don't need that old Ginny Wexelberg to make this a big day. After today, a blind 15-year-old kid isn't going to seem so important.
After today, nothing's going to seem important, huh?
Well, there's the clock. We still got plenty of time.
We just walked around. A few other kids from school passed by, and we stopped. It was getting closer. The space between the minutes was getting longer and longer.
Hey, I'm hungry. I want to go back and get a candy bar.
You're crazy. It's almost time.
I got a couple of minutes. Look.
Well, you just had them malted.
I don't know. I'm hungry. I mean, I got a right to eat a candy bar before it happens, don't I?
How can you think about food?
It's only 1 minute.
Well, all right. I just wanted to get one last candy bar, that's all.
You think we could see better if we went across the street?
Doesn't make any difference. It's going to be all over the world. There was still a minute to go, and I kept wondering if there'd been a miscalculation. Now we were all looking up. All over the world, people were looking up. It was quiet. You could hear them breathing. I sneaked a look across the street. Ginny Wexelberg was staring up, and she was crying. I kept wondering why a pretty girl like that should be crying. And then, just as I looked back at the sky, it happened. It came, the flash across the skies, a silver streak, the biggest vapor trail there ever was. It went from this side to that side in no time. It split the sky and was gone before the shockwave hit us. Nobody said anything. We stood there and shivered and straightened up after the rumbling sound passed.
You know what? It's going to go around the whole world.
Well, he did it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, he sure did. All the way to Mars and back. Safe and right on schedule. You realize that? He did it. He did it. The first trip to Mars. He's back. He's safe. The factory whistles down by the river started blowing. The bells of the Baptist, the Congregationalists, and the Roman Catholic Church were ringing. We were all jumping up and down, shouting, screaming, laughing as the vapor trail slowly faded into the overcast. I grabbed a hold of somebody next to me, and all of a sudden I realized it was Judy Wexelberg, and she kissed me, and I kissed her back. And we yelled louder than all the factory whistles. We had a right. It was just like the paper said. This was the day the world ended and the universe began.
This is Fred Collins, and I'll be back with a word about X-1 in a moment.
Hi, this is Walter O'Keefe. You know, they say there's nothing new under the sun, and maybe that's true, but there is something new under the moon, and that's Nightline. In Nightline, we think we found the way to use the intimacy as well as the lightning-fast maneuverability of radio in an hour-and-a-half package of high-voltage, different entertainment. We found the way to make the airwaves your magic carpet to wherever big things are happening. Anywhere in the country, for that matter, anywhere in the world. Now, let's say that your favorite comedian is performing at a Las Vegas nightclub. He's packing them in, and you've really got to have connections to get a table. Well, Nightline is that connection, and your radio is your ringside table. More things than you'd believe are happening in the so-called still of the night, and Nightline is your line to exciting entertainment after dark. My feeling is Nightline marks a new era in nighttime entertainment. Tune us in tonight over most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features William Morrison's novelette, The Sly Bunger Hop. To Colmer, it was the chance of a lifetime. He could hear opportunity knock. But where in all creation was the door it knocked upon? Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you End as a World, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by F.L. Wallace and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Jack Grimes as Pete, Larry Robinson as Paul, Peter Fernandez as Howie, and Alice Yorman as the mother. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production. Next week on X-1, another exciting story from the pages of Galaxy. The Scapegoat, by Richard Maples. If you saw a big teenage young bully beating up a helpless old man on the street, what would you do? Try to stop it? Or save your own neck by just walking away? Well, this is the story of a man who did stop it. Of a newspaper reporter who not only rescued the old man, but took him home, hoping to develop a good angle for the newspaper series he was writing on juvenile delinquency. The Scapegoat tells of what happened then, of the terrible threat posed by this seemingly harmless old man to the unsuspecting reporter and his family. Be sure to hear it next week on X-1. Wondering what the weather will be like tomorrow night? Will it be cool? Will it be hot? Will it rain or not? Well, don't give it another thought, because NBC's Monitor has a weatherproof evening planned for you with excursions to 3 world-famous underground scenic spots. You'll go roving with Monitor on a 2.5-mile trip through Marble Cave in Missouri. You'll listen to the music of a stalactite organ in Luray Caverns, Virginia. And you'll visit the historic catacombs of Rome. Between trips underground, you'll hear another merry report on his vacation tour of Europe by comedian Jonathan Winters. And you'll rub elbows with international celebrities at a unique party in Tootshore's famous restaurant in New York. There'll be music and news, too. In fact, there'll be something for everybody on Monitor. So start your weekend right with Monitor Friday night, and stay with Monitor all weekend long.
Nightline takes you to wherever exciting, interesting, and entertaining things are happening. Tonight, over most of these same NBC stations.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Scapegoat by Richard Maples. But first, hear this.
When the ice is smooth and the sky is blue and the skater's waltz is played for two.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, X-1 and The Scapegoat.
The old guy didn't have a chance. All he could do was shield his head with his limp arms and moan, while this other fellow, a husky young 6-footer, gave him a vicious, cold-blooded beating. Hey, cut it out! You, cut it out beating up an old man like that! I said cut it out! Now, let go of him. Well, what have you got to say for yourself before I belt you as hard as you hit the old man here? Well, hey, you, wait! Wait, you no-good hoodlum! Hey, You all right, Pop? Are you okay? What happened? Was he trying to rob you or something? Look, you'll be all right now. You'll be okay. You're lucky I came along then. No cops anywhere. Okay, come on, old-timer. Up on your feet. You're going home with me. I suppose it seems callous to think of it, but this old man was just what I'd been looking for. A brutal assault and a helpless old man, and I was the hero, just what I needed. You see, I'd just come from a meeting with the city fathers and the commissioner of the police department. And old man Jones, my publisher, had promptly yanked the rug out from under me and chickened. I'd written the articles panning the city's handling of the juvenile delinquency problem because Jones had to be in his bonnet to be the mayor. Now, when the heat was on, he weaseled out. We had a few words, Jones and I quit. But now I had him, an eyewitness story, no cops anywhere, and a young bruiser beating up a defenseless old man. I figured I'd take him home, let my wife fix him up, keep him around the house until the story broke.
Ed, what's the idea? Ed!
All right, take it easy, honey. It's all right. This old guy just needs some patching up, that's all. Come on, old-timer.
Oh, but he looks awful. Who is he? What is blood?
Yeah, come on. Help me get him inside.
He's cold. His wrist is cold.
Yeah, shock, I think. Come on, in with him. All right, now, let him down on the chair. There you are, Pop.
Were you in an accident?
No, some hoodlum was beating him up. I chased him off.
Oh, that's awful. Did you call the police?
There weren't any police there. I'm going to crack this whole situation wide open with this story.
Hey, Mom! Hey! Wow! Never mind. Go into the bathroom and bring out some towels. Ed, we'll need some bandages.
Yeah, we'd better get a blanket around him.
A blanket? It's 90 degrees.
It's for shock, son.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Okay, Mom.
Ed, I think he's coming to now. He's opening his eyes.
No, you're all right, old-timer. You're all right.
Well, isn't this cozy?
What's your name?
Ash.
Ash. And first name?
That's it.
Oh, then what's your last name?
I don't know.
All right. Take it easy. What happened? Who was that hoodlum? Did you ever see him before?
I don't remember.
Well, why was he hitting him?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You missing any money?
I'm not sure.
Well, I suppose I scared him off before he could rob you.
Yes. Oh, yes, you rescued me, didn't you? I'm really very grateful.
Don't try to talk too much now. You'll feel better after you've had something to eat.
Ed, we have nothing in the house. We were just going to have a salad.
Well, salad's all right.
Well, Ed, I think maybe we'd better get Mr. Ash to a hospital or to his house or something.
Oh, look, Nana, I told you I want him
Ed,
here.
Please. Come inside.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Come inside.
Okay. You just sit right here, Mr. Ash. I'll be right back. I just want
Yes, I'll be all right now.
Nan, what's the matter with you?
Get rid of him. What? Get him out of here.
Well, why?
He gives me the willies.
Oh, no, it's just the heat.
Well, you must know he leered at me.
Oh, Nan, he's an old man. He's just been beat up and in shock.
Ed, please.
Oh, no. I've got to keep him here. He's my proof. I'll write a story that'll rip the administration wide open, and Jones can't pull it out because I've got the proof right here, and I was the eyewitness.
But, Ed,
no.
Please.
He stays here, and that's all there is to it.
You're listening to The Scapegoat, tonight's attraction on X-1. Once a tall and beautiful tree stood in the forest. It had been there for 200 or 300 years. In the course of that time, wind shook it and lightning struck near it. A hurricane bent it once until its top was nearly at the ground. But none of the ferocious assaults could fell that tall, proud tree. But then one day, the most spindly-legged, pot-bellied, adenoidal, open-mouthed creature that the forest had ever seen sat down in the cool shade of that tree. This was what was called a man, and he wanted to smoke what is called a cigar. He did. And he threw his match among the pine needles, and when he had smoked the cigar, he threw that away, too, and went off, because somewhere down by the lake there was waiting for him what is called a woman.
and he had the hope that maybe she didn't feel like nagging anymore. Before nightfall, that tree that had withstood all those assaults was ashes, and thousands of other trees in that forest were too. The man is still living. If you know any of his species, you might tell him that trees don't have Adam's apples and shrill voices. Trees are beautiful, and men ought to be careful with matches. Now back to X-1 and the Scapegoat.
The old man seemed to recover pretty quickly. I suppose mostly because I'd gotten there in time. As a matter of fact, he began to talk, and he kept it up through the whole meal. And it was the craziest story you ever heard. He insisted he'd come from another world outside our solar system, where people existed in a kind of liquid state, bouncing about for the most part like large water-filled bladders. They were, however, capable of taking almost any shape their superior minds willed. They could flatten and drift about on the water, or they could inflate and rise in the air.
As a matter of fact, they can even become facsimiles of other living things, taking on the shape and texture and coloration, a capability which adds greatly in their main function of traveling as missionaries of goodness among the peoples of the galaxy.
Goodness, huh?
Oh, yes. They're perfect. As perfect as angels.
All right. I've had enough. I asked for it.
Nan, where are you going? Don't rush off.
Well, I guess I know when I'm being kidded. Very funny, Mr. Ash.
But I'm not kidding.
Don't tell me that you're a missionary to Earth.
Oh, no, I'm here because I was banished.
Oh, sort of a fallen angel.
Exactly.
Look, Ash, it's too hot for games. If you don't want to explain what happened this afternoon, that's your privilege. But as you know, this story means a lot to me. And I did stick my neck out for you.
One moment, my boy. Let me finish. You see, I'm a throwback.
A what?
A throwback, an atavism. They tried to reform me, but there was something rather fundamental about me, something rather evil. And, of course, as a last resort, they put me into one of the machines, and they threw the switch.
Oh, sure. They killed you. Look, I'm not in the mood for Shaggy Dog stories.
They didn't kill me, exactly. It was sort of like water being scraped over the edge of a sharp rock. When I came to, I was drifting through space. And then, of course, much later, I landed on Earth. Oh, I've had many shapes through the years. Mainly people who died. I find that's much more convenient.
Yeah. Well, look, if you'll excuse me, I have to make a telephone call. I'll just go into the other room.
I dare say you want to call the hospital. I'm not psychotic, really.
I've got iced coffee.
Oh, yes, you're just in time, Mrs. Potter. I think perhaps I'd better prove my story if you'll wait just a moment. You see, it's done by the generation of a high electrostatic field. Something like this. If you'll notice, my face begins to lose definition. It moves as if it had a life of its own. Now what?
Stop it.
Well, that looks considerably younger, doesn't it?
30 years younger. 30 years just dropped away like... Listen, this story will set the whole country on its ear, with my byline on it.
Oh, Ed, don't let him take you in. It's a trick. It's mass hypnotism or something.
I saw it right here. So did you. I'll have an exclusive. Life will have to come to me for the story. I've got to admit that I could share something of Anne's point of view. He wasn't really very pleasant. As a matter of fact, he had what you call colossal gall. After supper, he came right down to cases.
Naturally, if I'm to stay here and keep my identity secret until you can arrange for an exclusive story, I will need a little pocket money.
How much?
How much you got?
Well, I don't know. I got about $22, and payday isn't until Thursday.
Well, how about your bank account?
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Well, we'll see what we can arrange later. I am a little tired, though. I think it's about time to go to bed. I noticed a rather comfortable bed in here. Well, I'll see you all in the morning. Good night. And thank you again for rescuing me.
Ed, that's our bedroom.
I know.
Well, you go right in there and tell him that he can't sleep.
He locked the door.
Oh, Ed, do something.
All right. You get some sheets from the linen closet, and I'll make up the couch. next day, I made careful inquiries, started to feel around for contacts on live at the AP, someplace to really break the story big. About 5 p.m, Jones, the publisher, called me into his office.
Sit down, Ed. I've got some good news.
Now, look, Mr. Jones, ever since you left me out on a limb at the mayor's...
Oh, now, let's not worry about that, Ed. We've got something very interesting going for us now that changes everything. They've arrested a gang of kids for shoplifting. Well, one of them is Tommy, your son.
What? Arrested Tommy?
Wait, Ed, don't go off half-cocked. It's a break, don't you see? You can cover delinquency with the lid off now. You'll be riding as a parent in the same boat with other parents. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going?
At the police station, I had the distinct feeling they'd been waiting for me.
Well, Mr. Potter, we meet under unfortunate circumstances.
Can the phony sympathy, Thompson. Just let me see my boy.
We'd better have a little talk first about all those articles you're writing about the police force.
I've got no talking to do. This is a lousy frame-up against me and the paper. Now, you get my son out here and do it fast.
You don't understand, Mr. Potter. Your son is in trouble. He's been identified as leading a gang of kids who spent most of the morning shoplifting in the stores all over town.
That's nonsense. How could my boy do anything like that? He's only 12. Who identified him anyway?
The shopkeepers and the other members of the gang. You can see him, Mr. Potter, but I still think we'll want to have our little talk.
Son, what's this all about?
It was Ash.
Ash?
Yes, I told him about the gang.
What the heck are you talking about?
So the fellas got together and built a hut for a clubhouse.
What does the gang do?
Oh, different things. One of the fellas has a .22 and we hunt rats and...
Well, go ahead. What is it?
We smoke.
Oh. And what else?
That's all, honest.
What about shoplifting?
No, that was Ash. He wanted me to talk the gang into shoplifting, but I wouldn't. Then he changed himself to look like me and talked the fellas into it when I wasn't around. I only knew about it because I ran into them after they'd robbed their store.
Who is this Ash he keeps talking about?
Why, he's a man... Oh, never mind. Listen, the boy's beside himself because of all he's been through. Will you let me take him home with me?
Of course, Mr. Potter, but the charges still hold. Don't forget to stop in and have our little talk before you report back to juvenile court.
I called the house, and Ash answered the phone.
I'm glad you called, Ed. I'm out of cash, you know. I need a small loan.
Now, listen, you. The police have picked up Tommy. He's been charged with the shoplifting you did today.
Oh, now I'm sorry about that. You see, there's a certain cultural difference between you and me. I didn't understand.
You're going to help me get him out, you hear? You're going to tell everybody the truth.
Well, of course. Of course I will.
Now, listen. I'm coming home. Nan will be back from her mother's any minute. Don't you tell her about this, you hear?
Well, of course I won't. I'll be waiting right here.
I suppose I was a fool, but I still wanted that story. I wanted it so bad I could taste it. The exclusive account of an extraterrestrial being. Driving home, I had it all figured out. I'd bring Ash down to the police station. He'd tell the story, go through his changing act to convince him, and spring Tommy. I'd have my story already filed and beat everybody. In the meantime, I just hoped Nan wouldn't spoil everything alone with it. Alone with him. And then suddenly I let my foot come down on the accelerator like it was made out of lead. I pulled the car to a stop and sprinted up the driveway. Nan! Nan, where are you? There was no moving. Nan stood in the far corner with her back against the wall. Her shoulders were scratched and her lip cut. She held a heavy bookend, poised to strike at Ash, who was in front of her, moving stealthily forward. He turned as I came in, and I froze in amazement. I couldn't recognize it. And then, all at once, I realized I was looking at the spitting image of myself.
Ed, I knew it wasn't you. I knew it wasn't you.
Well, if you'll both excuse me, come back here. I'll get you. I'll get you.
I bolted through the window and circled the house. I spotted him rushing down the street, and I caught him around the corner at the same spot where I'd first seen him.
Let go of me!
You've got this coming to you! You've got this coming to you! I slugged him, yet I knew it was useless the instant the blow landed. He felt just like sponge rubber, yet I kept hitting him. I didn't bother listening to his cries, even after he changed himself back to an old man. And then suddenly I felt a hand grab my shoulder and whirl me around, and a fist exploded in my eye.
What's the matter with you? What do you think you're doing, beating up an old man like that? You no good. Who am I out of...
I searched desperately for an explanation. And then, abruptly, without having said a word, I reeled and stumbled down the street. Home to Nan.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word for you about X-1 in a moment.
Hi, this is Walter O'Keefe. You know, they say there's nothing new under the sun, and maybe that's true. But there is something new under the moon, and that's Nightline. In Nightline, we think we've found the way to use the intimacy as well as the lightning-fast maneuverability of radio in an hour-and-a-half package of high-voltage, different entertainment. We found the way to make the airwaves your magic carpet to wherever big things are happening. Anywhere in the country, for that matter, anywhere in the world. Now, let's say that your favorite comedian is performing at a Las Vegas nightclub. He's packing them in, and you've really got to have connections to get a table. Well, Nightline is that connection, and your radio is your ringside table. More things than you'd believe are happening in the so-called still of the night, and Nightline is your line to exciting entertainment after dark. My feeling is Nightline marks a new era in nighttime entertainment. Tune us in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you'll hear what I mean.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Shadow World by Clifford D. Simak. Of all the upsetting phenomena, the most alarming was this. I had a little shadow that went in and out with me. It's in Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Scapegoat, written by Richard Maples and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Carl Weber as Ed, Wendell Holmes as the changeable Mr. Ash, Jane Amar as Nan, Bobby Alford as Tommy, Guy Rep as Mr. Jones, and Roger DeCoven as Thompson. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
When we last saw the Gregory party aboard the stolen Euclidean submarine, their position was anything but a happy one. Compelled to anchor the submarine on the floor of the ocean in 9,000 feet of water, Jones soon discovers that the Euclideans have located them even there. As Captain Bradford engages in two-way radio communication with Johnson in Los Angeles, the scientists on the Magic Island send out a radio beam of such power as to nearly cripple the submarine. Then the Euclideans send out a musical note, keyed to a certain pitch, and Jerry Hall gets a severe headache. Mrs. Gregory watches helplessly as they plan to run the risk of capture in a desperate dash to Los Angeles.
Well, of all the crazy things I ever heard of, this is the worst. We have to run to Los Angeles to get away from a musical note that makes my headache sent over the radio.
It is not that particular note we must fear, Jerry. I can protect you in the soundproof sleeping section in the stern of the submarine. What we must guard against is the note which will cause this submarine to break up.
But how can we guard against such a thing?
If we are quick enough, we may quite possibly save the boat, though its operation may be far from perfect thereafter.
Well, never mind the boat. How about our operation?
We will not be harmed if I act quickly enough.
Oh, Joan, dear, what must you think of us? You must do this, and you must do that, while we sit helplessly by and watch you save us time and time again.
Because, Mother, I am the only one who understands all these devices the Euclideans use, and because I understand how to operate this submarine to the best advantage, to prevent the Euclideans successfully attacking us.
But isn't there something we could be doing, Joan?
Yes. If you will do as I tell you, Captain Bradford, and you also, Mother, you can assist greatly.
Oh, of course, Joan, dear. We'll be only too glad to do as you direct, won't we, Ted?
Absolutely. We're in your hands, Joan, and your orders will be the law here.
Me too.
You will remain with me, Jerry.
Oh, then I'm going to help you with something up here, huh?
No, I want you near me so that I may keep you out of trouble.
I guess that takes care of you, Jerry.
Sure looks like it.
Never mind, Jerry. If Joan is taking care of you, you're in good hands.
What do we do, Joan?
You will go to the soundproof section in the extreme stern.
Back where the sleeping quarters are, dear?
Further back. Just behind the sleeping quarters, you will find another of the transparent steel doors. Open it. Enter the small chamber there and remove everything that is not permanently fastened to the floor and walls of the compartment.
What do we do with these things?
Bring them forward into the sleeping compartment at once and fasten them down to the best of your ability.
Is that all, Joan?
Yes, that is all. I will find something with which to occupy Jerry while you are gone.
Are you sure you understand exactly what's expected of us, Ted?
All we have to do is to clean everything movable out of the stern section.
Well, do you know why we're doing this?
No, and it didn't seem like the time to ask questions.
Well?
Yes?
Huh?
What?
What do I do?
Listen.
Listen?
Yes, listen attentively.
Okay. I don't hear anything.
I did not mean for you to listen to sounds in general.
I'm not. I'm listening to the absence of sound in general.
My meaning was quite clear, Jerry. You are to listen to what I have to say.
Guess I can't help myself. Go ahead.
We are going to undertake a very dangerous experiment.
That won't be anything new for this trip.
This will be the first time we have deliberately created a dangerous situation for ourselves.
Oh, yeah? I suppose when we stole this submarine, we created a picnic for ourselves.
Jerry, if you persist in misunderstanding me, it will be useless to attempt to explain my plan to you.
Well, sorry, Joan. Go to it.
I am confident that our only immediate danger lies in the possibility of Octavo discovering the musical note which will set up vibrations within the structure of this boat. Vibrations sufficiently strong to shatter it.
Yeah, I guess he can do that all right. But I don't see how we're going to know when he's found it until it's too late.
We will have to move quite rapidly. You must know that to respond to a note in the musical scale, either the common scale or the wider ranges of sound, the entire construction of an object must be focused at one central point.
Oh, I know that. Like the keystone in the arch of a bridge.
Exactly. And this submarine will also be found to have a keystone, not placed as one nor appearing as one. But somewhere in everything built by the hand of man, there is one important point, one vital point which will respond to a certain musical note.
Now, I understand that. And I understand when old Octavo finds a note that fits this sub, G47 will broadcast that note in our beam, and this boat will fall to pieces.
That is the possibility.
Uh-huh. Swell idea. And when the sub cracks up, we're left to swim under 1.5 miles of ocean water.
You cannot swim under 1.5 miles of water.
I know it. That's what's worrying me.
If my plan is successful, we will remain within the boat.
Well, that won't be much fun after the boat smashes around us.
The boat will not, as you say, smash around us.
Well, if you can figure how to keep us dry after our boat leaves us on the bottom of the ocean, hurry up and tell me.
I asked Mother and Captain Bradford to remove everything from that stern ballast section for a definite reason.
Oh, I thought maybe you just wanted to give them something to do.
It will also serve that purpose. However, I want that section cleared so that we may drop it off without losing any of our supplies.
Drop it off?
Precisely.
Drop off the tail of the submarine?
It is so constructed as to permit that.
But can we still run it and steer it just as well?
We may continue to operate the boat, and our speed will be appreciably increased, though the loss of the stern stabilizing pins will render accurate navigation difficult.
Oh, that's nice. We'll go faster, but we can't steer the blame thing, huh? Won't we have a lot of fun zigzagging around, cutting the tops off submerged islands?
I will guarantee to keep the boat free of any such obstruction.
But what good will it do us to lose the tail of this thing? Old Octavo isn't shooting his musical note at the stern. He's aiming for the keynote of this boat, and that's probably near the center of it.
Precisely. And my plan is this. Octavo will find that note without doubt, and possibly find it very soon, as he must have been experimenting all through the hours since we left the island. When he finds it, it will be sent out on our course.
And we'll start to shake ourselves out of this floating target.
Yes. We will feel the vibrations before they cause any appreciable damage. And the instant we are conscious of the action of the musical beam, I will pull this lever. That will drop the stern section off, and we will be safe.
Well, maybe you can see it.
You should see it also. It is very simple.
Okay, I'm simple then, but I still don't see it.
By dropping that section, we change the entire construction of this boat. We change the Newtonian base.
The what?
The Newtonian base. Have you never heard of that?
Oh, afraid not.
Jerry, is it possible that in your world a young man may reach the age of 16 without learning of Sir Isaac Newton?
Oh, sure, I know all about Newton. He used to sleep under apple trees. One day an apple fell on his head and he figured out the law of gravity.
The story of the apple is probably fallacious. However, it is Newton's law to which I refer. The Newtonian base is the center of gravity.
Oh, all right. We'll argue about that some other time. I know what you mean, anyhow. When you drop off the tail section, you change the center of gravity of this boat. And that changes the musical note, which will wreck the boat.
That is a crude explanation, but if you understand it, that will suffice.
Well, go on. When you change the center of gravity, you mix old Octavo all up. And then he's got to spend some more hours making noises with glasses of water until he finds a new musical note, which they can broadcast to records.
That is it. Our safety depends on my ability to recognize the vibrations of the destructive beam the instant they strike us, and to distort them by losing the stern section.
Well, do we have to open the receiving side of this radio set to hear the beam coming?
It would be very simple if we could do that. Unfortunately, the note which will strike the vital center of this boat will be of such high frequency that the ear will not detect it.
Well, if we can't hear this thing coming, what can we do about it?
I've explained that over and over, Jerry. We will feel the vibrations. The submarine will actually start to break up, and then I will drop the stern section.
That's going to make it mighty close fearing. But if that's the best we can do, well, it's the best we can do.
Mother and the captain are coming.
Then they must have finished cleaning house back there.
I think we removed everything from that section.
Yeah, I know we did. We've got everything that wasn't part of the boat.
That is well. Now, if you will take your station and lock the safety devices on the steel chairs.
Well, what's going to happen, Joan?
Get yourself anchored in that seat, Pat, and Joan can tell us what she has in mind.
I've secured my life belt.
I'm tied in.
Me too.
Excellent. Now, as I have explained to Jerry, we may expect an attempt to destroy this submarine any moment, any second. And when this attempt is made, the first indication of it will be a series of sharp and violent vibrations. We must be prepared to remain in our places and make no false moves. I will quickly cut off that stern section, thus changing the center of attraction in this boat and saving us from destruction.
Oh, we hope.
But, Joan, if you are afraid the Euclideans are going to send a destructive radio beam, and our safety can be assured by dropping that stern section, why wait until they start sending out this beam?
This will be a constant musical note, Mother. And I am basing my plan of escape on the belief that Octavo is working to find the note which will destroy this boat as it now stands. If we were to change our structure before he strikes, he would know it instantly and would set about making ready to attack us as a smaller unit.
Well, that's sensible enough, Joan. Once he has sent out his constant note tuned to this sub, and you have thrown him out of range by dropping that section, he will be forced to start his experiments all over again, giving us at least a few hours in which to run for home.
Precisely, Captain.
You sure understand it easy enough, Tex.
Well, I have studied the destructive power of a musical note.
You and I seem to be the only ones completely in the dark on this, Jerry.
Sure looks like it, Mrs. Gregory. But if Joan and the captain know everything, we don't have to worry about knowing anything.
Silence.
whiskers! Joan, you did it.
Good work, Joan. You saved the submarine.
Oh, Joan, that was wonderful. The boat was being shaken to pieces.
We were very near destruction for a few seconds. Now we are free. And as it should take Octavo several hours to find a new note for this smaller shell, we will utilize those hours by shooting to the surface and racing for Los Angeles.
Well, can you handle the boat now?
It will be difficult. Remain strapped in your seats. I will refuel with a double charge. We will travel vertically.
You mean you'll shoot this sub straight up through 1.5 miles of water?
Precisely.
Boy, oh boy! Everybody hold on tight. We're going straight up.
Now the race for freedom is on in earnest. With Joan Gregory at the controls, the stolen Euclidean submarine is driving at full speed for the surface of the ocean. And that full speed is terrific. The submarine is capable of making over 40 miles an hour underwater. And added to this is the change in water pressure, which aids in shooting the boat straight up, almost as fast as a bullet shot out of a gun. Jerry, Mrs. Gregory, and the captain are excited by this ride and perhaps a little nervous. But they appear to be quite comfortable as they sit in their swinging steel chairs, securely fastened with safety belts. Joan is giving them some last-minute instructions as the submarine nears the surface.
As we prepare to level off near the surface, you will all be subjected to a sudden change of direction and of position. Do not allow yourselves to relax in those chairs. Brace your feet and hands firmly and remain rigidly a part of the structure of this submarine until I order otherwise.
Okay, Joan. I'll hang on to everything.
Aren't we in danger of bursting out of the water with such a force as to strain this boat to the breaking point?
Well, I think so. After all, you can't rush straight up through 9,000 feet of water and shoot out into the air without some action.
We will not leave the water entirely. I shall level off at 10 fathoms, and the remaining water will act as a cushion, breaking our rise gradually until we reach 6 fathoms. We will then proceed at that level.
Well, the air pressure inside this thing won't change, and if we can keep from getting thrown out of these steel chairs, I guess we'll still be here when we come out on top.
We are not coming out on top, and you know it.
Gary meant when we level off, Joan.
We have no time for further discussion now. We are nearly to 10 fathoms. Hold your stations. Brace yourselves well, and do not move until I give you permission.
Aye, aye, Skipper. I think I can speak.
You just did, Jerry.
Oh, then I can.
Well, Jerry, I too am surprised to learn that I can.
That was about the wildest bit of sailing I've ever gone through. Are we safely leveled off at 6 fathoms now?
We are, and proceeding along our course to Los Angeles.
Hey, we're not riding any too well.
That's to be expected, isn't it, Joan, with that stern section off?
Yes, Captain Bradford. Our sailing will be very rough at all times now. The submarine is hard to control without the stern stabilizing pins.
We're certainly flopping around like goldfish in a bowl, but we seem to be making good time.
The vibration is not as great at this speed as it would be at a lower rate.
Then for heaven's sake, don't slow down.
Are you uncomfortable, Mother?
I've really been more at ease a number of times, Joan, but I can stand it if the rest of you can.
When I think that we're getting away from that island, I can't imagine anything I couldn't stand.
That goes for me, too. Hey, Joan, how about using our radio now?
It would not be advisable. I hope that G-47 and Staley's will suppose this boat to be destroyed. And in their excitement, it is barely possible the scientists in the transmission chambers on Euclidia have failed to note our movement on their prism reflectors.
Well, I don't think those Euclideans ever miss anything.
They will probably locate us within a very short time.
But they won't be able to reach us with anything, will they, Joan?
Not to my knowledge. So it is quite possible that G-47 did not let me see everything there was to be seen on Euclidia. There were secret chambers where only a few of the greatest scientists went.
What about this man who succeeded in getting to Johnson at our radio set, Staley? What would he be doing in America?
Acting as a Euclidean spy and learning what new developments in science were being used.
Would he be in constant communication with the island?
To be sure he would.
But how could he send messages to them? He'd have to have a radio set somewhere in the States, and his messages would be picked up all over the world.
He would be operating on a frequency which no worldly station could pick up, as you call it, Jerry.
Is that going on all the time, all over the world?
Euclidia has many agents, that I know, and their reports come in a constant stream to the island. But it is most unusual for a scientist as great as Thales to leave the island. Such work is usually delegated to minor scientists.
Looks like old G47 figures we're pretty big stuff.
Big stuff?
Jerry is off on one of his non-English speaking tours. But he meant that we must be important enemies if Thales would personally set about to make trouble for us.
What do you suppose he could have done to Johnson?
Probably nothing at all. Certainly he will not have harmed him.
What makes you so sure of that?
Thales would know of some way to keep Mr. Johnson quiet for some time without hurting him. It is a strict policy with G47 to have his agents refrain from creating disturbances.
Well, I'll bet he didn't take that radio set away from Johnson without creating something. I saw Johnson once myself, and he's a pretty husky-looking fellow.
I think you'll find you're mistaken this time, Joan.
In what way, Mother?
Johnson would protect us with his life if necessary, and he would have to put up a struggle before turning that radio set over to an agent of Euclidia.
That's right, Joan.
I imagine that Johnson and Thales have never seen each other.
You
will all remain silent.
No,
I said it
Joan,
will all remain silent.
Well,
thank you. I will attempt to explain.
I wish you would.
We heard Johnson's voice over the radio, and then the reception became very poor. The radio sounded as if it had been knocked over or broken or something.
Yes, and then Johnson said that danger threatened him, and that the radio had been tampered with.
There's no other way to figure it, Joan. Thales was standing right over Johnson when he sent that message.
I know you are wrong, and I will prove it.
Well, you'll sure have to. Hey, hold this thing still.
That was a bad one.
Oh, it felt as if the boat were turning around.
We did waver slightly from our true axis course.
Wave slightly? Huh. I get tossed around like a canoe in the storm, and we wave slightly.
We are riding easily now, Jerry.
So go on with your explanation about Johnson and Thales.
Johnson did not say that danger threatened him. He said danger threatens our plan.
Why, yes, Joan, that's true.
And furthermore, Johnson did not sound as if he were engaging in a struggle. The radio was becoming uncertain, but Johnson's voice quality or his relation to the microphone did not change.
Say, I guess it didn't at that.
You're right so far, Joan. Go on.
You have progressed far enough with your own experiments, Captain Bradford, to realize that it would be a very simple matter to place a destructive solvent in Johnson's radio. A solvent which would be released and flow through the set, quickly ruining it.
Yes, that wouldn't be hard. And a clever man could find a chance to get into the radio room and do that.
But if Thales wasn't there with Johnson, how could he release this solvent just at the right moment to interrupt Johnson's message to us?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know. Why, he might have planned that stuff in the radio hours before it was used. And Johnson could have sent plenty of other messages.
Agreed. But I believe that Thales was listening constantly to Johnson's station at his own powerful equipment not far off. And when Johnson was talking to us, Thales allowed him to talk just long enough to trace the beam to our exact location and report that to Euclidia, which would take very few seconds. Then he would cut in on Johnson's wavelength, reverse his powerful beam, and release the destructive material he had placed in your set at Los Angeles.
Why, Joan, that's fantastic. Reversing a radio beam to destroy a set?
Euclideans have done it often successfully.
Boy, that's the best one yet.
Yes, but it's also one of the easiest ones to perform. Don't forget that explosives are set off by radio in daily experiments all over the world.
I'm not questioning the Euclideans' ability to do this, but we've had so many of these experiences that it seems almost more than a person can stand.
Oh, cheer up, Mrs. Gregory. We'll catch this fellow Thales when we get back home.
What is the population of Los Angeles?
Well, with Hollywood and the suburban communities, it's roughly 2 million.
Then your chances of laying hands on Thales are 1 in 2 million, if he is in Los Angeles.
You know, there must be plenty of easy jobs in this world. Why do we always pick all the hard ones?
I like hard jobs, Jerry. They're the most interesting. And after you make good on something difficult, you may honestly feel that you've really accomplished something.
Yes, and we've sure done that. Only a few short weeks ago, we left Los Angeles in search of Joan. And now Joan is skippering us back at the controls of a Stoughton Euclidean submarine.
This will be considered an important adventure in your world, then?
It better be. I want to see my picture on page 1 of every newspaper in the country.
I'm sure you'll get your wish, Jerry. But when your picture has been on page 1 as many times as mine, you'll get a little tired of it.
They'll be taking your picture also, Joan.
I should like that. I have never seen my picture.
Of course you have, dear. Don't you remember the picture I showed you the day I found you?
But I was only a year old when that picture was taken. I am now 15 years. Surely I do not look the same.
I'll say you don't.
Jones here. That was dangerous, wasn't it?
No, Mother. Uncomfortable, possibly.
Possibly nothing. Uncomfortably, for sure.
Joan, there's something I don't quite understand about these sudden wild swings the stern of the boat makes.
What is that, Captain?
Well, when we're running along at constant speed, the gas combustion chamber makes hardly a sound. But when the stern of this thing whips around out of control, there's a heavy burst that sounds like escaping air. How do you account for that?
Quite easily. When the stern is suddenly thrown around out of balance, and it will be so repeatedly without the stern section, when that occurs, the speed of the rear sections of the boat is so great during the short arc of movement that the gas bursting from the combustion chamber is actually going into a vacuum created by the boat.
No wonder I don't feel so good when those things happen. If we're flapping around fast enough to leave a hole in the water behind us.
Joan, is it safe for me to return to the sleeping quarters and lie down?
Of course, Mother.
Pat, are you ill?
Of course I'm not ill. Only I think I'll rest a little.
You look kind of white around the mouth, Mrs. Gregory. Are you seasick?
Seasick? Oh, not after 15 years on the water in my own boat, but I think I'll go.
What is the matter with Mother?
She is seasick, Joan, though she wouldn't admit it for the world.
What is seasick?
Well, it's something that happens to a lot of people on the water, but, well, it'll never happen to me. Oh!
What's the matter, Jerry?
Well, I think I'll take a little rest, if you don't need me right here now.
Poor Jerry. This is the first time I've ever seen him act like that. Well, Joan, it looks as if you and I are the only two real sailors on the submarine.
But it is so foolish to act as Mother and Jerry are acting. Captain, is there a mist or a fog in this boat?
Why, no, Joan. The air's clear as a bell in here.
That is strange. My vision is impaired. I have never felt just like this before. What could be the matter with me?
Well, I could tell you, Joan, but I'll let you guess. That leaves one good sailor. Joan, you better go back with the others and lie down. If I should happen to find that I'm no stronger than the rest of you, I don't want anyone here to laugh at me.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
There's the old saying that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, it isn't really power that corrupts, but immunity to punishment and control. And every fool with a little power wants to achieve that immunity. Usually it's held that like attracts like. The two individuals with the same great fundamental characteristic will be normally attracted to each other. You know, this isn't necessarily so. It may not be true. You may have two people who don't like each other, but are forced by the very nature of the fact that they have a unique characteristic to endure each other.
Oh, just a little more. Oh, Alan, isn't it beautiful the way it bubbles and bubbles? Oh, Alan, let's have champagne every night on our honeymoon.
You want to take a bath in it? I can arrange that, too.
Oh, Alan, really? Pink champagne?
Just as pink as you're blushing right now.
Oh, Alan.
What's the matter? Do you think Mr. and Mrs. Alan Carvel are going to live like the rest of the slobs? I tell you, baby...
Alan. Oh, what's wrong, Alan?
Nothing.
Alan. You look so funny all of a sudden.
Get off my back. Thank heaven I've found you. Why haven't you been answering me these last few days?
Do I have to check in with you everything I do, every place I go?
Alan?
Oh, it's all right. I'm all right, Jeannie. Just leave me alone for a minute,
Get out of my mind, Laurie. Get out, I tell you. I'll talk to you later.
You'll talk to me now. What are you doing with this child? What are you trying to hide from me?
All right. I'll get rid of her, then I can talk to you. Give me 20 or 30 minutes to take her home.
I'll give you half an hour, that's all. And don't try to close up your mind and hide from me again.
All right, I say.
Jeannie, it's all right.
You went so white there all of a sudden. Alan, honey, are you sick?
No, it's just one of those migraine headaches of mine. Honey, look, I better take you home.
Oh, honey.
No, it's all right. I just need some sleep, that's all. Come on, let's get your coat.
Oh, you better not come in. That old landlady.
Oh, that's okay. Good night, baby.
Oh.
Good night now.
And get lots of sleep. Take care of your poor head. Call me in the morning.
That's the deal. Good night, honey.
Good night, Alan.
What makes you do things like that, Alan?
You stuck with me every inch of the way, didn't you?
How old is she? 16?
17. What's it to you?
Oh, I have to be conscious for both of us.
Thank you, sweet Lorraine. Who asked you to?
You did, Alan. You always have. All these things you do are challenges to me to set right. All your venom against a fate that made you one of the only 2 telepaths in the world is twisted against me, your only partner in this lonely land. You strike out at me because I'm like you. And because by the same chance that made us, I'm the stronger one.
That's a lie. I can break loose from you any time. Let me go. I can't breathe.
I won't hurt you, Alan. I could never hurt you. Though I thank whoever or whatever's responsible for making us as we are, that it's me, not you, who has the additional power to reach out and move physical objects with my mind.
You would. You waste something like that and then feel good about it. What I could do with something like that. Why don't you leave me alone?
Because I love you, Alan. If you'd been a man with decent instincts, bound as we are together, we could have married and found what little happiness is possible for 2 like us in this world. But there's a twisted streak in you that wouldn't let you settle for that.
Go ahead, play the little mother. You're no good for anything else.
You didn't think so once, Alan.
You're over the hill, baby. Face it.
I've faced it, Alan. Have you?
What do you mean?
Can't you see you're getting worse? When we were just children together, before we'd even seen each other face to face, we used to talk to each other at night, clear across the city, mind to mind, about how someday we'd go out and find others like us. But if you had the chance to find someone like us now, you wouldn't take it. You don't want others. You want to be the only one.
Why not?
Why not? You've got a gun in your pocket right now. Don't you see the danger in all that? Don't you know what it can do to you?
Don't try to scare me, Laurie.
I'm not trying to scare you, Alan. A telepath living in a world of non-telepaths is not a normal person. He can't be. He has to walk a chalk line all the time to preserve his sanity. He can't afford inner conflicts or emotional violences or shocks. What do you plan to do with that girl? What's the gun for? And what's that you're trying to hide right now, right under the surface of your mind there?
All right. You want to know? I'll tell you. I'm getting out. I'm getting away from this city and away from you, and that girl goes with me. I'm going to take what I want, anything I want, and live like I deserve to, and you can't stop me.
Alan, answer me. Don't shut yourself off from me like that. Alan!
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This is Bill Goodwin. You know, someone once said humor is the true democracy. And that's why we Americans can smile when we tell the stories of the legendary heroes who helped to build our country's great institutions and industries. Like Bowleg Bill, hero of the tuna fishing industry. Back in Provincetown, Massachusetts, they claimed that when it came to hauling in the horse mackerel, as the Easterners call tuna, Bill could handle 2 gaffs at once and catch more than any 6 men put together. And they're still talking about the time Bill caught old Slick Britches, the biggest horse mackerel of them all. No one could ever get his hooks into Slick Britches, who weighed 2,000 pounds and had a tail 6 feet long. But Bowleg Bill promised to land him single-handed. He set out in his boat's toss-up, and when he spotted Slick Britches, he made a grab for him, but the tuna slipped through his hands. So Bill dove over the side, and before folks knew what had happened, Bill was sitting astride old Slick Britches, who was bucking like a bronco. He leaped almost a mile out of the water, but Bill hung on. All over the harbor they went, jumping and leaping, but still Bill hung on. Finally, Slick Britches gave one last leap over the toss-up, and then calmed down, all the fight gone out of him. Bill steered him toward shore, but all of a sudden, he headed him back out to sea, slapped the tuna's tail, and jumped off. Now, folks were mighty disappointed when Slick Britches disappeared, but it was like Bill told them. There's nothing that'll break a cowhand's heart so quick as to find a critter with the ruff all rode off at the first mount. Yes, sir, it is a democracy which lets us tell the stories of such a legendary character as Bowleg Bill with a twinkle in our eyes and a chuckle in our throats. And so long as we continue to laugh together as a people, ladies and gentlemen, we will live together as a nation.
Telepathy has long seemed like a wonderful thing to have, a wonderful possession. But have you ever considered it in terms of the absolute end of privacy? You know, explorers have found that if you put two men in one little cabin isolated far away from the rest of the world, they don't learn to like each other. They learn to hate each other.
Now, Sue? Did I wake you, honey? I thought you was going to watch the Late Late Show on Channel 2. What's this, a little past midnight? Oh, I'm sorry I woke you, honey. I just felt like phoning. No, it's quiet as a church. Been through the plant and the tool shop 4 times already. I was just going to check the officers and... Oh, now, come on. Now, stop worrying. Nobody knows about these night payroll deliveries. Anyway, they've come and gone. The money's already in the safe. Sure I will. What?
That's a gun you feel in your back. You say goodbye and hang up fast. And don't sit around.
No. It's all right. I just remembered I forgot to ring in, and I'll better hurry and do that right now. I'll call you back later. Goodbye.
All right, let's head for that safe over there. Now move.
Don't worry. I have a healthy respect for guns. There it is over there. I don't know what good's going to do. I ain't got the combination.
Shut up. I'll stand over there where I can watch you.
Hey, you opened it right up. Who told you the combination?
The president of the company.
Are you kidding? What is this, a gag of some kind? Look, if this is just a joke, mister... No, I didn't make...
Think about jumping me, will you?
Slob.
Slob, that's all he was, a slob.
Oh, Alan, please tell me what this is all about. You go home with a migraine headache, and then you call up and get me out in the middle of the night, and you keep drinking, but you won't tell me what's the matter.
What's the matter? That's a funny one. Come here, come close. I'm going to tell you something.
Alan, you're hurting my arm.
Listen to me. You want to know something? You know how trees think? They think real long and slow and peaceful, and sometimes they take all winter just to think one little thought.
Trees? Thinking?
Oh, it isn't real thinking. It's just living, you know? You hear them living, calm and quiet and slow. And cats. Listen to me, lady. You know how cats think?
No.
Well, cats think sort of S-shaped, like a snake crawling. And dogs, dogs are all excited. Up and down, like a pogo stick. Even when they're dreaming. Everything thinks. Do you know that, Janie? Everything. All day long. Forever. Never. Everything goes on thinking. As long as they live, and when they're dying.
Alan, are you cold? Let me hold you. Oh, you're shivering like crazy.
Give me a drink,
Sweetheart, you've had enough.
I want a drink, I said. Here, give me yours. You're not touching it anyway.
Alan, I really think you shouldn't be...
Look, I got a better idea. Tell you what, let's get out of here, huh? Let's get out of this town tonight, and we'll go far away where she can't ever find us. We'll take my car and we'll head south.
Right now. We can buy what we need as we go. We get married on the way. What do you say, Jeannie?
Well, Alan, I...
You love me, don't you love me, baby? You said you'd always do anything I ever wanted. Well, this is what I want. Get out tonight, and don't worry about money. I got lots of it.
You have?
Sure.
When did you get a lot of money all of a sudden?
I'll tell you when we're on the road, okay? Oh, answer me. Or I'll leave you behind here.
Alan, you wouldn't go off and leave me.
Oh, of course not, honey. But I gotta go. There's no two choices about it, and I gotta go now. Now, you're coming with me, or aren't you?
Well,
One of the worst things about a conscience is that the darn thing is always going with you wherever you are. Alan had something other than a conscience, and running away didn't do much good. You know, telepathy has no distance limitations.
Alan.
What?
It's starting to get light. Alan, you never did tell me where you got the money.
Not now. Can't you see I'm out of my feet?
Well, we could stop and get a couple of hotel rooms somewhere.
No, we've got to keep driving.
But we're nearly 100 miles out of town already. You keep saying we've got to keep driving, but I don't see why we couldn't stop for just a few hours.
Oh, shut up, will you?
Alan.
You don't like it? Get out and take a bus back. Who needs you?
I don't know what's wrong with you. You never used to be like this. Then last night...
Well, just shut up!
Alan.
What?
Nothing.
Alan.
I'm not turning back.
Yes, you are, Alan. This time you're turning back, even if I have to make you.
Make me, then.
Alan, you're slowing down.
She's making me. She's making me. Talk out loud.
You look in pretty bad shape.
Give me a cigarette.
There's some on the desk. I'm glad you came right back here when I turned you around. Shows there's some hope.
Now cut it out. What did you stop me for?
That watchman. It was you, Alan, wasn't it?
What watchman?
Alan.
All right. Yes, it was me. He was a slob, so he's dead. So what?
The gun you beat him to death with is in your pocket right this minute.
So what?
So I'm going to have to make you go to the police and show them the gun and tell them.
You can't do that by remote control. You have to go with me.
I'll go with you.
And what do you tell them about how you happen to know all this? How about that?
I will tell them.
What about us? About me and you? About you?
I don't want
to...
Are
you crazy? You know what that would mean? You think they'd believe you? And if they did, what it'd be for the rest of your life? You'd be owned, Laurie. Owned, guarded and locked away by them. The slobs, like a piece of machinery made to do what they wanted you to do for them. You'd never be free again.
All I ever wanted was what any woman wants, the chance to lead a normal life. Look at me, Alan. I'm not bad looking. I never was. But the only man I could ever have been a normal wife to was you. And you never grew up. You've been a selfish little boy all your life, and I've paid for it.
Why didn't you leave me alone? Just leave me alone.
Leave you alone? Do you think you ever really wanted me to leave you alone? I was forced to love you the same way the only woman in the world would be forced to love the only man in the world. Well, now it's too late. I can't let you kill again.
Then do it. Go ahead, handcuff me with that mind of yours. Take me to the cops. Make them believe you. Do you think that'll stop me? Do you think there's any jail that can hold me, any guards that can keep me? Go ahead. You're the only force in this world that can chain me, and you can't watch me 24 hours a day. You've got to sleep sometimes, and... Laurie, you're choking.
You would break loose, wouldn't you, Alan? You would kill again, in spite of all I could do to stop you. All right, you can breathe now. No, don't look at me like that. I'm not going to kill you. Even now, I can't do that. That gun of yours is in your inside pocket. Lift your right hand, Alan. Put it inside your coat. Now, take out the gun. Don't try to fight my will, Alan. You know it's no use. Now, you will point it at me.
No. No, Laurie, not you. Anyone but you. Not you, Laurie, not you.
Alan, it's me, Jeannie. Darling, can't you hear me?
Jeannie.
Sweetheart, just try to move your finger. Or your eyes. Just move your eyes a little so I'll know you'll hear me.
Jeannie, I can't move. I can't do anything. Help me.
Alan.
It's like being buried alive. I'm paralyzed. Help me. Laurie. Laurie, come back and help me. Laurie. Laurie.
So Alan had his wish fulfilled. Alan wanted immunity from consequences of his actions. There's only one way to achieve it, and he achieved it. If you do nothing, if you have no actions whatever, then you have immunity from consequences. And that's the only way. Otherwise, you're responsible for what you do, whether you like it or not.
Join us for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Mandel Kramer and Bryna Rayburn. Script was by Gordon Dixon. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. Bill Maher speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. As you remember, Clark Kent, acting as a special Secret Service agent, discovered that the new headquarters of the Leopard Society in Oriental Spy Ring was located in a waterfront house. He also learned that the Leopard Woman, ruthless, cunning leader of the Spy Ring, was operating a shortwave radio sending set from the house and informing enemy submarines of the location of American oil tankers. Together with Major Campbell, chief of the Espionage Division, and 10 Secret Service men armed with Tommy guns, Kent closed in on the hideout. As our story continues today, Kent, Campbell, and 3 armed agents are slowly mounting the back stairway of the house. In a dimly lit room, the Leopard Woman is surrounded by her Japanese henchmen and a German-American radio operator named Brower. Listen.
Bring me that black box, Cato. Be careful. It's heavy.
What are you going to do?
There is only one honorable defeat, Brower. Death. Set the box down here, Cato. Gently. Now attach a fuse to it. You will find them in the leather case on the chair.
What's in that black box?
Enough powerful explosive, Brower, to blow this house and everyone in it into oblivion.
They're coming up the steps.
That is our one consolation. We will take some of them with us into the Valley of the Shadows. Light the fuse, Cato.
Wait a minute. Pull that fuse out.
They must never take us alive, Brower.
Pull it out, I said. There.
Why did you do that? There's no escape.
Yes, there is.
You said the house was surrounded, that they carried Tommy guns.
There's still a way out.
Open up in there.
Don't answer.
Can't you see there's no escape, Brower? If they capture us, it'll be disastrous to the cause. There is far more honor in death.
You can have the honor. I want to live.
Open up. We blow the lock. You can't get away.
Now what, Brower? How can you answer them?
I'll answer him. Go ahead and blow the lock. We're ready for you. That'll stop him for a while. Long enough to get out of this trap.
How?
The rear of the house faces the water of the harbor, doesn't it?
Yes.
We can get to the roof through the skylight, can't we?
Yes. But what good would it do us?
It's a dark night. They'll never see us if we dive off the roof into the water.
Dive 2 stories into water that may be shallow?
I'd rather do that than sit in jail for the rest of my life or be blown to pieces.
We're giving you one last chance to open up.
Come on. We've got to work fast.
Cato, you and the rest will follow us.
Wait a minute. That won't work. They'll have to stay behind. Splashing in the water will attract attention.
Don't be a fool, Brower. Do you think for one moment...
It is correct. I will replace the fuse in the glass box and accomplish all that was planned.
But, Cato, you mean...
It is a sacrifice for which we shall be well paid in the glory of our ancestors. Not so?
You speak with great courage, Cato.
Come on. We have much time.
Farewell, Cato.
Farewell. And may good fortune be with you.
Leaving Cato and the other members of the spy ring to perish in the impending explosion, Brower and the leopard woman climb through the skylight to the roof. Meanwhile, at the door, Major Campbell is preparing to blow the lock with a pistol.
All right. Let me have your gun, O'Hara. Stand back, Kent. One shot should do it.
Wait a minute, Major. I hear something.
What?
Sounds like the sputtering of a fuse. That's what it is. We'd better get out of here. Hurry.
But Kent...
Don't argue. They're setting a bomb off. This house will go sky high. Hurry.
Kent! Where are you? Kent! O'Hara, did he go outside? I didn't see him, but chances are he did. Well, see if you can find him. Will you hurry up now?
Good thing it's dark on the stairway. Made it easier to get Campbell to slip. Now to get back to that door, break in, and find out what's doing it. That's a fuse sputtering all right. This is beginning to look like a job for
Superman. One good shove should finish the door. Here goes. Great Scott. A dozen chaps seated around a box of high explosive. I'm too late. It's going up.
Swim fast as you can. That explosion set fire to the house. We jumped just in time.
I can't go any faster. These clothes weigh me down. How much further is it?
Not far. My speedboat is anchored near the end of the breakwater. There it is.
Can I see it?
No. They're too busy watching the house. The whole roof blew out.
Poor Cato.
Here we are. Tread water until I chime in. Hold on to the gunwale. All right. Let me have your hand. Lift yourself up as I pull. Now. A little more. That's it. Okay. It won't take long to get us started. And then across the harbor.
Across the harbor?
Yes.
But...
to get hold of a car that'll carry us to freedom.
I tell you, Kent was trapped in the house, O'Hara. He never came out. He's somewhere in that blazing inferno.
Well, at least, Major, you might make an attempt to rescue me.
Kent! For the love of heaven, man, what happened to you?
Nothing very exciting. I walked out behind you just before the explosion.
Oh, I was certain you were caught in it.
Well, not quite. But most of the Leopard Society was, I can assure you.
What do you mean, most of them?
Those who were in the house at the time. You won't know who until that fire burns itself out, and even then identification may be difficult.
The fire department should be here any minute now. Call went in. Oh, incidentally, I want to apologize, Kent. You were 100% right this time.
Oh, forget it, Major. Well, I've got to buzz my paper. After all, this is news, and I'm still a reporter. I'll be back.
Daily Planet.
Carmody, editorial room. Clark Kent calling.
One moment, Mr. Kent.
Thank you.
Hello?
Carmody, Clark Kent.
Oh, brother, are you in for it?
Yeah, why?
The chief's been stomping around here like a bull in a china shop.
He has, huh?
So far, you've been fired 9 times.
Good. Tell him to make it an even dozen.
Say, what's up, Kent? Got anything hot?
Yes, sir. Red hot. A violent explosion and fire destroyed the front street hideout of an Oriental spy ring 10 minutes ago. The explosion was a suicide gesture on the part of the Japanese agents who made up the ring. Trapped by armed Secret Service operatives, they took the traditional Oriental way out, self-inflicted death. There is still no accurate count of how many perished. I'll get back to you later with more details, Carmody. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Here comes Major Campbell. He looks excited. Maybe he's got something new. Hold the wire.
Kent, they got away.
Who got away?
The leopard woman and Brower, I guess.
How do you know?
The police, they held up a car.
Wait a minute. No sense holding on, Carmody. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Now, just what happened, Major?
I just spoke to one of the state troopers.
Yeah?
A man and a woman stopped a car on the highway just a few minutes ago, slugged the driver, and rode off. They were both dripping wet. And the woman answered the description of the leopard woman.
Well, now, we mustn't jump to conclusions, Major. If Brower and the leopard woman were in the house, how could they have gotten out before the explosion? Your men were guarding all the doors.
I know, Kent.
Wait a minute. Did you say they were wet?
That's what the state trooper said.
Oh, that begins to make sense. We should have thought of that.
Yeah, thought of what?
The roof. The rear of that house faced the water. Brower and the leopard woman might have jumped off the roof, landed in the water, and somehow reached shore. Come on, I want to talk to that state trooper.
Where are we going, Brower?
I don't know yet. Is that car still following us?
Nope. Turned off.
Switch on the radio. See if you can pick up a news broadcast.
All right.
You might find out if they know we're missing. Takes a few seconds to heat up.
So don't forget. Go to your nearest bank or post office and put all the money you can into United States defense bonds and stamps.
Get something else.
And now for the latest news.
No, wait.
Contrary to first belief, the explosion and fire in the Front Street headquarters of a dangerous Oriental spy ring did not take the life of the ring's female leader, the leopard woman.
That's it. Listen.
Police have just admitted that the leopard woman and a German-American espionage agent named Brower made good their escape, but are confident that they will be under arrest shortly. An 8-state alarm has gone out, and all roads leading from Metropolis are under armed guard, since it is believed the spies are attempting to escape in a stolen car.
That's enough.
Major Campbell,
Turn it off.
Chief of Detective...
He said all roads are being guarded.
I heard him.
What will we do?
We'll get off the roads.
I don't understand.
Look, there's a private seaplane base a mile or so from here. We'll have to take over a ship and head out to sea.
What good will that do us?
If we can contact one of our submarines, it'll do us a lot of good. Sooner or later, they'll catch us if we keep riding this way. They won't catch us in the air.
And what if we cannot contact a submarine?
We'll fly until our gas gives out. Then you can enjoy that honorable death you were talking about. But don't worry. Both the U-21 and the U-27 are offshore. We'll raise one of them.
Once again, the leopard woman seems about to slip through the fingers of the law. Can Brower put his plan through? Will he and the leopard woman escape? The story comes to a smashing climax in the next episode, so don't miss it. Tune in and follow it with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. When a violent explosion set fire to the waterfront hideout of the Leopard Woman spy ring, Clark Kent and Major Campbell, chief of the Secret Service, were certain the woman and her Japanese henchmen had perished. But unknown to them, the cunning female spy, together with her radio operator, a man named Brower, made good her escape by jumping off the roof into the water a moment before the explosion leveled the house. As our story continues today, we find them speeding along the road in a stolen car. Brower is at the wheel. From a news broadcast heard on the car radio, they've just learned that the police of 8 states are now on their trail. Listen.
Well, what can we do now? You heard what the radio said. The roads are under guard.
We'll get off the roads.
What do you mean?
There's a private seaplane base up ahead. We've got to get one of the ships and head out to sea.
What good will that do us? None of those private planes carry enough gas to get us far.
We won't have far to go. Not if we can contact one of our submarines off the coast. It's our only chance now that they know or even suspect that we escaped. There's the base. I'll turn in.
There's only one plane moored.
One is enough. Come on.
I don't see anyone around.
There's a watchman in that shack. He's asleep. We shouldn't have any trouble.
Have you a revolver?
Yes, but it got soaking wet. I can use the butt. Now, quiet. You stay out here. I'll sneak in and take care of him. He's dead to the world. This should be a cinch. Watch the road in case anyone stops or drives in.
I will, but hurry.
Okay. He won't wake up for a while. Yeah, he won't wake up.
What about keys?
We won't need them. I'll cross the ignition wires. Come on, we've got to row out to the plane. Wait a minute. Get down. There's a car coming. All right, come on.
There's a rowboat tied to the dock.
Any oars in it?
Yes.
We're running in luck. Hop in. Can you make it?
I think so.
All right?
Yes.
Sit in the back seat. I'll cast off. Well, so far, so good.
Are you sure you can get the plane?
Positive. Won't be the first time I've crossed wires. Say, you can fly a seaplane, can't you?
Why not? No different from any other plane, except the pontoon. Suppose it has no radio.
That's the chance we're taking.
Easy, easy. You're right on top of it. Pull in your right.
I'll grab the mooring line.
I've got it.
Now, can you get aboard? I'll keep the boat close. Don't pull in.
I won't.
Open the cabin door. Now climb inside. I'll follow you.
What about the boat?
That's the least of our worries. Here I come. Okay, close the door.
If you can get her started, we're all right.
Don't worry about that. Now see if there's a flashlight in the tool compartment.
Yes.
Good. Shine it under the dashboard.
There's a radio, isn't there?
Yes. Yes, sending and receiving. Hold the light steady. Step on the starter. That's enough.
Any trouble?
No, I'll get it.
Brower.
What?
The car just pulled in off the road. 2 men are walking toward the shack.
Step on the starter. There she goes.
The men are running down to the dock.
Get set to give her the gun. I'll cut the mooring line. Okay, let her go.
Rising from the water like some monstrous seabird, the plane roars into the darkness, headed for the open ocean. Meanwhile, back at the Metropolis office of the Secret Service, Clark Kent and Major Campbell await word of the leopard woman's arrest.
Kent, that woman is amazing. I can't bring myself to believe that she dove off that roof. It just doesn't seem possible.
And by this time, you should realize that anything's possible. She took a desperate chance.
Well, what good did it do her? She's bound to be picked up. Every road leading out of Metropolis is covered. They can't get through.
I hope you're right, Major. She's led us quite a chase. I'd like nothing better than to see her behind bars.
If you recall, she was behind bars once. Your brilliant little plan let her out.
Now, let's not bring that up.
Excuse me. Major Campbell speaking. Oh, yes? What? Oh, hold on a minute. Kent, jot this down as I give it to you.
All right.
Go ahead. Midtown Harbor Seaplane Base, Amphibian NX-312. Yes, I've got that. What time was this? 5:30 a.m. Any description? I see. All right. Thanks a lot. Yes, I'll check on it. This looks bad, Kent.
What's it all about?
A man and a woman slugged the watchman at the Midtown Harbor Seaplane Base at 5:30 this morning and stole an amphibian moored offshore.
Stole it? A man and a woman?
Yes. Does that mean anything to you?
Might mean plenty. Who was that call?
McCary at the state police barracks. Said 2 of his men drove in just as the plane took off. And found the watchman out cold. Kent, I don't like it. That woman has slipped through again.
Let's not jump to conclusions, Major. In the first place, what good would a seaplane do the leopard woman?
I don't know, but I'm willing to bet she's behind this. We know she and Brower escaped the explosion, stole a car on the state highway, and we're headed out of the city.
Wait a minute. The firemen found a shortwave sending set in the wreckage of that building, didn't they?
Oh, yes. What's that got to do with it?
Well, it proved our original suspicion was correct. That the leopard woman was communicating with enemy submarines offshore.
I still don't get the point.
That seaplane. Was it radio equipped?
McCary didn't say. What are you driving at, Kent?
Simply this. If the leopard woman and Brower did steal that plane, they're probably planning to contact a foreign sub, get aboard, and make a perfect getaway.
Well, what are we going to do about it? Sit here and stare at one another?
No, we've got to get to a shortwave listening post, a Coast Guard station. Maybe we can pick up the plane signal. Come on.
Wait a minute. O'Hara, meet me downstairs with a car. Yes, right away.
Come on, Major.
I'm coming. Well, anything doing, Kent?
No, not yet.
You never told me you could handle shortwave apparatus. There's not much you can't do.
That's laying on a little thick, Major. Here, wait. Something's coming through. I'll switch it to the speaker. Listen.
Must have position. Urgent. Must have position. Urgent. Check. Agent 1-4. Code word. Anschluss. Come in.
What's that? Oh, we're calling from the plane. Listen.
Position 65 miles southwest harbor.
Is that the submarine? Yes, our hunch was right.
Well, where are you going, Kent?
Got an idea. Call the Navy Yard and give them the location of that sub. I'll be back.
Racing down the hall, Kent darts into a vacant office, closes the door behind him. In a moment, his street clothes give way to the blue costume and brilliant red cape of Superman. Stepping to the window, he raises it.
65 miles southwest. You're in for a surprise, leopard woman. A very unpleasant surprise. Up, and away!
I must compliment you, Brower. Everything worked out to perfection.
Isn't it better than being blown up?
Yes, far better. We should be sighting the U-21 soon. Look for a periscope. Fortunately, the sea is calm. We should have no trouble landing. Before we set the plane adrift or sink it, I should like to send a final message to our friend, Mr. Kent. It would be amusing to...
What's the matter?
I don't know. Something's wrong. The controls don't respond. We're banking.
No, it can't be.
Look! Tape at the window.
I saw it. It's gone now. What's happening?
He's heading back toward land. Brower!
Cut the motor.
We're still moving. Faster than before. What's that wind?
I can't believe it. It's insane.
Brower, something is pushing us. Brower! Brower!
I don't know how you accomplished it, Kent, but if anyone ever needs the services of a Superman, I'll send him to you.
It's nice of you to say that, Major, but...
I know. It was nothing. Nothing except that a stolen plane, piloted by one of the most dangerous foreign spies in the world, suddenly comes down on the beach in a perfect three-point landing, and when the Coast Guard men haul Brower and the Leopard Woman out, they're so frightened they can't talk. That's nothing. Well, maybe someday you'll be able to tell me how it was done.
Perhaps. But in the meantime, I have a story to get out.
Well, then I'll leave you. Oh, by the way, how's that youngster, the one who opened up all this spy business?
Jimmy Olsen? Oh, he's fine. Mr. White, the editor, sent him to a Dude Ranch after he got out of the hospital. He's there now.
Well, give him my regards if you see him.
Sure thing. Bye.
Bye, Kent.
Now, to get to that story. Oh, now what? Hello. Yes, this is Clark Kent. Where? Rocky Point. Yes, I'll accept the call. Rocky Point, that's where Jimmy is. And what he wants. Yes? Yes, hello, Jimmy. How are you? What? I can't hear you, Jim. Trouble? What kind of trouble? Were you in the accident? What? Did you say ghost car? Ghost? Now, take it easy, Jimmy, and tell... Hello? Jimmy! Hello! Operator.
Well, it certainly looks like another baffling mystery is brewing. What could Jimmy have meant by a ghost car? And why was he suddenly cut off? Don't miss the next episode. It begins another thrilling adventure. Tune in and follow the story with the Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett. Hey, Cadet. Stand by to raise shift. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As soaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. It is a holiday on the planet Venus. A holiday celebrating the date 100 years before when the Earth colonies were granted independence and the cloudy planet took its place in the Solar Alliance. For Space Cadets Tom Corbett, Roger Manning, and Astro, it is a holiday from duty, the beginning of a week's leave. And in an old and somewhat battered jet launch belonging to Astro's family, the boys skim over the lush Venusian jungles. It's a beautiful day, a perfect beginning for a vacation. Yet, as usual, Roger finds a reason to complain.
Look, Astro, as long as I was spin dizzy enough to say I'd go fishing with you, I'd like to get there. Won't the sliver go any faster?
Relax, Roger. We'll be in Goldtown soon.
There's a difference, you know, Roger, between spaceships and jet launches. Sure, and there's a difference between jet launches and walking, but I'll take walking. Hey, that's an idea, Astro. Why not drop him off in the jungle and let him walk?
Suits me. He might last an hour, with luck.
You Venusians sure are proud of having the crummiest jungle in the solar system.
Sure. Fighting that jungle made my father and his father before him wasn't tough enough to win the independence we're celebrating now.
The way I heard it, Venus got its independence because nobody wanted it. I wouldn't mind owning a piece of it, especially like this place where we'll meet Astro's uncle. You mean Goldtown? I never even heard of it before.
You will. It already produces about 1/5 of all the gold found on Venus. And a new company has opened up an even richer vein. Almost pure gold and lots of it.
Who cares about gold now? It's space full of really important minerals.
Oh?
Well, Astro, I guess Roger won't want any of those nuggets.
Huh?
You know, the gold nuggets. Didn't your uncle say we could get a few big ones for souvenirs?
Oh, yeah, those. But as long as you're not interested,
Roger.
Roger.
Not interested. They'd be worth plenty. Gold is... Hey, you jokers aren't kidding me, are you?
Where'd you get that idea, Space Boy? Why, you can pick them up big as your head. Pin size.
Go blow your jets. Hey, Astro, that the town, those roofs down there?
Uh-huh. We'll be there in a second. I'll drop lower so you can get a look at it.
I bet the town will be pretty lively today. All the miners and their families will be celebrating the holiday.
Yeah, everybody always turns out for... Hey, that's funny.
So that's what you call a boom town. Oh, brother, what a dead joint.
Yeah, dead is right. And this is always a lively place, even on ordinary days.
Hey, this isn't a gag, is it?
Well, it can't be. I don't understand.
Astro, look down there. Glass all over the street. Storefronts have been smashed in.
And there's a wrecked jet car. And another.
Land this sliver fast, Astro. We better find out what's happened.
My uncle's store is down the street. Hurry, fellas.
Sure, Astro. But there's not a chance of him being there. I never saw anything like this. Why, it's a ghost town. Yes, Roger. Only this ghost town didn't die quietly. I'll say it didn't. Doors broken in, houses wrecked.
And everybody gone. Men, women, and kids. What could have happened?
Well, Gold Town's surrounded by a jungle full of prehistoric monsters, isn't it? Dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus. They're not prehistoric on Venus, Roger. Well, that's what I mean. They're alive. Maybe a bunch of them attacked the town. Maybe, but they didn't. Men are behind this. All radio equipment has been destroyed. And you can see there's been some looting.
Here's my uncle's store. Come on inside.
It's empty, like all the others. And wrecked even worse. The shelves have all been cleaned up. Are the rings of Saturn. Roger, look behind the counter. A man still holding on to an old-fashioned rifle.
What is it, Tom? Did you find anything?
Better stay back, Astro.
No, let me see. Oh, no.
Is it your uncle?
No. His partner, old Peter Adams. He used to tell me stories when I was a kid, and now...
Easy, Astro. Get a grip on yourself.
I'm okay, Tom. But what could have happened here? Where's Uncle Carl and everybody else? And who wrecked Goldtown?
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Spaceman, next time you get swell-tasting Kellogg's Pep, you'll get something mighty special right along with it. Just look on the back of the Pep package and you'll see what I mean. Every regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep has a Space Cadet picture cutout on the back. Now, you want to get the whole collection. Then you can build up a Space Cadet scene showing the cadets ready to blast off on a rocket flight or speeding through outer space in the Polaris. Each Space Cadet picture cutout is made from a detailed full-length photograph, and each picture shows you one of the official Space Cadet uniforms. Start your collection now. Get a package of Kellogg's Pep and have Pep for breakfast every morning. You'll enjoy that rich whole wheat and malt flavor. And with milk and sugar, maybe fruit, Kellogg's Pep is a dish that just starts you off right. When you finish the box, you're all ready to cut out the Space Cadet picture for your collection. Get all 4 Space Cadet picture cutouts. There's one of Astro, Roger, Tom Corbett, and Dr. Joan Dale. And if you get 2 of a kind, why, you can trade them with your pals for the one that you don't have. It's loads of fun. So start collecting Space Cadet picture cutouts right away. Remember, you get another Space Cadet cutout on the back of every regular-sized package of the Build-Up Wheat Cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. Arriving at the isolated mining village of Goldtown on Venus, where they expected to enjoy a week's leave, the Space Cadets find the little town has suffered a mysterious raid of almost unbelievable violence. And when Astro leads them to his uncle's store, they make another shocking discovery: the dead body of Uncle Carl's partner. And there is no sign of any living person. The town is completely deserted. We have to get word to the Solar Guard, fellas, and that means flying back the way we came in the jet launch.
This is too big a job for us to tackle alone.
Well, okay, but first I'm going to fly over the mining and processing area. It's in another clearing north of here.
North, but that's out of our way.
It won't take long. And if there's any reason for this, it must be the gold.
Yeah, makes sense all right, Astro. Besides, maybe we'll find something definite to report to the guard.
For you to report. If any of the murdering rats are up there, I'm staying
Don't
curious.
be happy, Astro. You can't fight a gang all by yourself, even if your uncle is captured.
No, it's not just him or Peter Adams. It's all the people of Gold Town. They're Venusians like me, and I know most of them. I was brought up here, and... Oh, well, I guess you fellas can't understand.
I think we do, Astro. Come on, let's get moving.
We're almost over the mining area, fellas. Keep your eyes peeled.
Hey, look over there to the left. There seems to be a break in the jungle.
It must be the clearing. Yeah, I see some chimneys. Well, that's the processing plant, Roger. The mines are right near it. Hey, look. There's a big crowd down there.
That's our answer, Astro. Those must be the people of Gold Town loading those 2 space freighters.
With armed men all around to make them do it. Dirty space crawlers stealing all the gold and making our people do the work for them.
They have other workers, too. Look, giant robots. Like the ones we ran into on Mercury. I thought the men there must be part of a larger gang.
Galaxy, how did they get here?
Who cares? They're here and they're going to be tough to lick.
Guns and robots. No wonder they were able to capture everybody. And Peter Adams tried to stop them with a rifle.
Hey, wait a minute. I think we've been spotted. They're looking up here.
Maybe we'll scare them off.
No, Astro. Look, there's a rocket gun mounted in the clearing. They're training it on us. Start dodging, Astro. Yes, get this crate out of here fast.
Okay, hang on. Doc, here comes a warhead. That was too close. Tom, maybe you'd better take the controls.
Too late to switch now. Just keep dodging and open the jets wide. We're out of sight, fellas. I guess we're safe now. That was a nice job of tree hopping, Astro. You kept them from getting a good shot at us.
Well, thanks, Tom, but we may not be in the clear yet.
You mean the robots?
Yeah, if the gang sends them after us, we'll be in trouble.
Jumping Jupiter, I forgot about them. They could catch this bag of bolts and make scrap of it in 2 minutes. They sure could, but I don't see any of them following us, and the killers should have them in the air by now.
They would if they wanted to use them. Maybe they don't want to tip their hand by showing the robots.
Or maybe they didn't want to take them off the job. Looks as if they were getting pretty near the end. Well, maybe. It's funny reasoning, but lucky for us. Now we can go and get the solar guard after them.
Yeah, you do that. I'll circle back and land as close as I can. Then you can take over, Tom.
You mean you still want to try and fight that gang?
I have to.
Don't be a jerk, Astro. What can you do against those robots?
Probably not much, Roger, but as you said, it looks as if they're getting near the end of the loading. Those space rats will be gone before the solar guard can get here.
Well, so what? Why toss your life away to try and save some gold?
It's not the gold, Roger. It's all those people. You remember the killers on Mercury didn't like to leave any witnesses. This bunch probably feels the same way.
You think they'd murder the whole population of a town?
Yep. After they're through using them as slaves.
You may be right at that, Astro. We'll have to try to help them.
We?
Sure, I'm staying with you. Roger can go after the guard.
Wait a minute, Junior. If you 2 bubbleheads can be heroes, so can I. I'm joining the party.
Sorry, Roger, but our chances will be pretty slim, and someone has to send out a warning.
Oh, space dust. Why should I be the one
Don't argue, Roger. There's no time.
All right, blast it. I'll be the messenger, boy.
Good, and while you're delivering, keep your fingers crossed for us. This is a tough jungle you grow here, Astro. Must have taken us half an hour to come a few hundred yards.
Yeah. It's hard going, Tom. It's swell of you to do this when you're not even a Venusian.
Oh, what of it? I'm a human. Forget it, pal, and keep your voice down. We're at the edge of the clearing.
Oh, look at those space crawlers. They're driving the people like cattle.
Those gold bars and bags of ore must be heavy, too. But with gunmen everywhere, the people can't even rest.
Hey, there's Uncle Carl. The gray-haired man, see?
Uh-huh. He looks pretty old to be carrying a load like that.
He can take it, I guess. He's hard as nails. Tom, look. That man, he collapsed.
Great Jupiter. One of those thugs is kicking the poor guy.
Oh, kill the dirty space crawler.
Oh, Astro, stay down.
Tom, did you hear that? They are going to kill them. Let me go.
Oh, it would be suicide. And the only way we can help these people is to stay alive and think, but fast.
We're right back where we started, Tom. We've been all around the clearing, and there's no way to break that up except...
No, Astro. For the last time, we can't go charging in blindly. If we wait, we may still get a break. Or, best of all, the solar guard may get here.
You're just kidding yourself. One freighter's loaded already. The other's almost finished. Roger can never reach them in time.
Wait a minute, Astro. Listen. Ship coming this way.
Hey, you don't suppose
to keep your fingers crossed.
There. I see it now, Tom. It's a space yacht. It's armed and it's coming straight for the clearing. I think it's going to attack the killers.
I'm afraid not, Astro. Take a look at them.
Huh? They've made room for it to land. They've been expecting it. Blast it. More guns against us.
In a spot like this, a few more won't matter, I guess. But maybe if they sit down close to the jungle.
Oh, they won't. It's coming in right in the center of the clearing.
I wonder who those characters are.
The leaders, I guess. Look, 2 men are getting out. Hey, they're carrying someone. Great blazing comets.
It's Roger. He's unconscious.
How in blazes did they get him? He was blasting back to headquarters.
Must have intercepted him and shot him down. That's why those robots weren't sent after us.
What do you mean?
That armed yacht must have been on patrol. And this bunch just radioed an alert for the flipper.
Well, that settles it, Tom. The solar guard won't be coming. Our last chance blasted into space dust.
Yes. I guess it's up to us now.
Well?
You win, Astro. We'll make that rush you've been plugging for. At least we'll go down fighting.
That's what I've been waiting for. Come on, let's ease forward as close as we can get.
Follow me.
A little more to the left, Tom. We'll be covered by that tree.
Check it. Hey, down quick.
What's the matter?
One of those thugs is wandering over this way.
Think he saw us?
No, he's just carrying a radio control for one of the robots.
He'll be past in a couple of seconds. Then we can make our break.
No, we don't have to, Astro. This is our break.
What?
If we could grab him, we'd have his ray gun and a robot, too.
Hey, that's right. Come on, fella. This way. Get a little closer. Come on. Blast it. How do you like that? He sat down.
He's going to set up the robot control there. But he's at least 20 feet out in the clearing.
Bad as it is, we're not going to get a better chance. Let's go out and get him.
Yeah, I guess there's no other way. Blast it. If we only had a rope.
A rope? The rope's hanging all around you.
Where?
These Venusian jungle vines. They're as good as rope anytime.
Well, can we hack off a piece, a long piece?
Sure. They're brittle down near the root. I can snap a whole vine off. Wait a minute.
There. Hold still. That joker heard you. He's turning around. Uh-oh. Quiet. Okay. Relax. He turned back.
I guess he thought it was just an animal.
Yeah. Now, come on. Help me strip off the leaves, but quietly.
Look, would you mind telling me what we're doing?
Going fishing, Astro. Now, you see this noose I'm tying in the end? With luck, we can toss it over his head from here. Yank it tight so he can't squawk and just haul him in.
Don't you think the other jokers will see it?
Yeah, maybe, but the odds are better doing this than busting out in the clearing ourselves.
I guess you're right.
And the robot control is attached to a strap around his neck. It should come right along with him.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. This noose should hold.
Let me try to snag it. I've got longer arms so I can reach out further.
Okay, Astro.
Shoot. Here goes. You got him. Pull. Keep it tight around his neck. Here he comes. And nobody's looking this way.
Yeah, but the strap on the robot control broke. It's fallen off.
I'll get it.
No, Astro, don't let go of the line. Keep pressure on.
Help! Hey! Over here!
Astro, shut him up.
Right! He's out. It's too late. They hurt him. Come on back. Things are getting hot.
Yeah, they're using heat right. Come on, let's beat it.
Here, I got his gun. You take it.
Thanks.
Good work. You winged a couple of them.
There's so many of them I can't miss. Besides, they can't see us here. We have that much advantage.
They're falling back, Tom. We're beating them.
Great Jupiter. What's the matter?
The robots. They're sending the robots in after us.
Oh, the gun's no good against them.
Look at them come. That does it, Tom. We're licked.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. K-Day! K-Day is here! K-Day! K-Day is here! All over the country, the word is going out. By telegraph, by radio, by telephone. The news is spreading like wildfire. Yes, K-Day is here. And that means that every single one of Kellogg's cereals has been dressed up in a brand new package. And now that K-Day is here, you can see those new Kellogg packages right at your grocery store. They're new, they're fun, they're exciting. And are they different? You'll see pictures of cowboys, fellows and girls playing games. You'll even see the Space Cadets. Every one of these new Kellogg packages has something exciting and different. So don't delay.
Chart a course to the grocery store just as soon as you can. See the better-than-ever Kellogg cereals in newer-than-new Kellogg packages. Then you'll be saying...
Did you see what I saw? Kellogg's on display in brand new boxes, bright and gay. These famous cereals come your way. Go see this eyeful. The Kellogg's All-Star Breakfast Show has a cheerful look, a lift for you. Start you out with a hoop-de-doo. Kellogg's for breakfast and a happy, happy day. Get a big supply today.
Yes, for a happy day, have a happy breakfast with the best-tasting cereals ever. Kellogg's.
In a desperate attempt to rescue the people of Goldtown, Tom and Astro almost succeed in gaining control of one of the gang's giant robots. But when the plan fails and the killers are alerted, the cadets are seemingly trapped as the giant, indestructible robots are sent crashing into the jungle after them.
Tom, we're finished. We can't stop those robots. They'll run us down.
Yes, if we just stay in front of them, Astro. But they can't think for themselves, and the men operating them will expect us to run back into the jungle. This is a chance to pull a fast one. Ow! Pop up that man you knocked out. Now put my hat on him. That'll delay them for a minute.
Okay.
Come on. Where are we going? We'll skirt around the edge of the clearing.
But they're watching for us now.
Not this way. Everybody's looking in the direction the robots are taking, where we were.
Well, they're bound to find out we've given them the slip.
Sure, but not in time, I hope. We'll cut around to that loaded freighter, the one nearest the jungle, and climb in while they're looking the other way.
We can't, Tom. The guards are still in the airlock.
We won't use it.
Then how will
You're a power man, Astro. Can't you think of another way to get in?
Hey, wait a minute. The rocket tube's in the clean-out hatch.
Right.
We'll have to slide through the tube fast. There'll be radioactivity.
It's worth it to get to those big guns.
You bet it is. Step it up, Tom. We've got to work fast. Come on, Tom. The main deck's empty. Climb in.
Wow, we made it. And those space rats think we're still in the jungle.
Oh, we'll show them how wrong they are. Let me at those rocket guns.
Right. I'll take this one. You get on the starboard gun mount.
All set. But, Tom, be careful not to hurt any of the Goldtowners.
Don't worry. First, we'll pick off the gang's heavy stuff. The rocket gun mounted in the clearing and the robot.
I'll knock off the gun. You work on the robot.
Check. Ready? Fire!
Hey, I nailed the gun. Nothing but junk now.
Good. One robot's down, but they're tough. You'd better get on them, too.
Right.
Look at those space rats. They don't know what's happening. They're going crazy.
I wonder how they like being on the receiving end for a change. Hey, Tom, some of the Goldtowners are slugging their guards. They're getting into the scrap.
Watch your fire.
Uh-oh, there's a robot getting into the fight. It's over on your side, Tom. Blast it.
No, wait. It's going after the killers. One of the Goldtowners must have grabbed the controls. Hey, what do you know, Astro? Look!
It's Roger. He's all right.
It sounds like jets.
It is. The space yacht is blasting off.
Well, nail it, Astro. Pull it on! It's too fast and heading straight up. Can't get these guns to a sharp enough angle. Now they're gone.
Yeah, too bad we knocked out the blaster in the clearing. That might have been...
Great galaxy. Now the other freighter is taking off on the other side of us. Swing your gun around quick. Forget it, Astro. We're too late.
Blasted a few seconds sooner, we could have clobbered them. A freighter can't climb like a yacht.
That's why the yacht went first, to draw our attention. Well, there's just one thing to do. Go after them right now.
Oh, we can't, Tom.
Why not?
The Goldtowners are swarming all around our ship. In fact, they're coming in.
And look who's leading the crowd. Hiya, Roger.
Hiya, fellas.
Nice going. We really lowered the boom on those crumbs, didn't we?
Hey, you okay, Roger?
Sure, it'll take more than those space crawlers to get rid of me. He's okay, And listen, I saw your uncle.
You did?
Don't worry about him. He's in great shape. Right now, he's helping some of the wounded.
Oh, I want to go out and talk to him. All right, Tom?
Sure, but hurry back. We still have to nail those killers.
Oh, that's fine with me.
How about you, Roger? Naturally, Junior. After all, that's what I came to Venus for. A nice, quiet vacation.
Don't miss the next action-packed episode with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when the crew of the Polaris search for the killers but find danger in Part 2 of Holiday of Terror. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought
to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast are Jan Merlin and Al Markham. Today's program was written by Don Hughes, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are a farmer, peacefully working the soil, planting your crops, while above you, deadly as a vulture, a man is descending who will carry you away to his lair, a place from which there is no escape.
So listen now as Escape brings you Stacey Aumonier's exciting story, A Source of Irritation.
You know, whenever the talk turns to the last war and who won it between the correspondents of the Overseas Press Club on Fleet Street, it becomes a hot two-way fight between the Americans and the Englishmen. Myself, I'm a shy man. I keep out of it and order myself a shot of Benedictine and brandy. But privately, I have my own candidate. You can take it for what it's worth, but I'd nominate old Sam Gates. I know about Sam because I had occasion to cover the story for the Times. It was during the days of the Blitzkrieg. The Netherlands, Norway, and Belgium had already fallen before the German panzer divisions, and the British Expeditionary Force was doing its grim best to help out in France. Old Sam Gates was on Mr. Dodge's farm in Halversham, hoeing turnips and waiting for his niece Aggie, who will arrive twice daily, at dawn and at tea time, with his parcel of food.
Hello, Uncle.
Yeah? Oh, hello, Aggie.
Well, Uncle, is there any news?
You asked me the same question yesterday.
Did I?
Yes, and the day before that.
Well, it's another day. Any news today?
News? What do you want, girl? What news should there be?
Well, no harm asking.
You have my food?
Here you are, Uncle. We cut open a new cheese for you.
Well, I'll have a taste of it right now.
Did you hear Mrs. Coping's fowl got out last night? And Mr. Dodge wants you to kill another pig tomorrow. Oh, look. It's an aeroplane, Uncle.
I've got ears. Bloody nuisances of the war, these airy planes. Ours and theirs.
Oh, Uncle, did you know that Mrs. Hardwick's nephew Clarence has joined up? He's flying a Spitfire.
I knew he'd never amount to much.
Well, Mrs. Hardwick says that...
Aggie, girl, the cows need milking.
All right, Uncle. You needn't get cross. I'm going.
Yeah. Bloody morning. If it ain't the girl, it's the airy planes.
Well, old
Sam Gates went back to hoeing his turnips and muttering to himself about this fool world and its inhabitants. But it wasn't an hour later that his thoughts were interrupted by another plane overhead. He waited for it to go away, but it didn't. And what he heard made him look up, startled. A plane was coming down with a Nazi swastika clearly marked on its side, and it was coming down on his field.
Oi! Hey there! This ain't no flying field! Stop! Hey! Can't you hear me? You can't land in them turnips. I just hold them. What, you there! So you picked up 25 yards of Mr. Dodge's good Swedes. And what are you going to do about it?
Well, grandfather, stand back there where you are, I shoot.
What? You've no right to come barging in here with that gun. What are you doing on English soil, anyways?
Another word and I finish you. Keep your hands in the air and walk to me. Schnell, be quick.
Now, what do you want of me?
No questions. Closer. There. Halt. No. Paul Juppert. Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler, me foot. I'm not much in favor of Mr. Hitler.
Hey, what are you talking about, Herr Juppert?
I ain't no one called Herr Joe Peer, and what's more, I don't want to be.
Eh? One moment.
What do you do? Hey, what? My beard ain't for tugging. You've been and gone and lost your mind.
Quiet. You. What is your name?
Sam Gates. And who are you?
Never mind. Lie down. Keep your face in the ground.
You going to shoot me?
Englander Schweinhund. Hey, do as I say.
I suppose I'll have to.
Old Sam Gates did as he was told, and the pilot went to work on the engine of his photo reconnaissance plane. He located his trouble in a clogged fuel line and had it repaired in a few minutes. Then he looked at the old man and smiled grimly.
You, old man, get in the plane.
Well, what are you talking about? I ain't imitating fish nor birds. A man's 2 feet belong on the ground, and that's where mine is staying.
No discussion. Get in or I shoot.
What do you want me for?
Get in. You're going back with me. What is the matter, old grandfather? You're so pale.
What if I am? I ain't been in the hands of a madman before. I want to be set down this minute. I can't be flying about the country with hoeing still to do, and Mr. Dodge's turnips only half thinned.
Turnips.
What's that noise from?
Your Englishmen, they are shooting at us.
Who?
Better say your prayers, grandfather.
I've been praying, but I can't decide whether I want the Almighty to strike you down or save me.
The right wingtip shot away, the fuselage rent with holes as big as a man's fist. The Nazi reconnaissance plane, nevertheless, remained miraculously aloft. Neither Hausman, the pilot, nor old Sam Gates was hurt. Sam was being spared for other things. Within minutes, they had crossed the channel and were gliding downwards. Sam knew by the roofs of the houses, the trees and streams, that he was in a foreign country. When they landed, Sam found himself behind German lines in France. The swastikas, the sea of unfamiliar faces, shouting at each other in heathen gibberish, filled the old man with a strange dread. But he made up his mind to stick it through as he walked stiffly in front of the pilot's prodding pistol until they reached a zinc-roofed building and went in.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I'm going as fast as I can. That airplane ride shook me up a bit.
Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Gib den Hausmann zu Zigarre von Schlegel. General is occupied, Herr Capitan. I must see him. Tomorrow morning. It is a matter of extreme urgency. Take me to him immediately. Very well, Herr Capitan. Herr Capitan Hausmann, Herr General. Get the pipe out of your mouth. Stand at attention, Grandfather. Heil Hitler. Heil Hitler. Now, what is the meaning of this, Hausmann? Who is this old farmer? I brought him from England, Herr General. Hausmann, have you gone mad?
Ah, that he has. Mad as a March hare. Without a by your leave, he comes thundering out of the sky, kicking up 25 yards of good turnips, and snatches me from the honest toil to go flying off with them.
Quiet, you. Herr General, please look at him closely. What do you expect me to see, Hausmann?
No. Paul Joubert. I never heard of any Paul Joubert. My name is Sam Gates, and as much as your flying machine grinds a man's bones to dust, I'll expect you to have one deliver me safe and sound to Mr. Dodge's farm on my native soil, or the king will hear of this.
This is not Paul? No, Herr General. Joubert is now a gardener at the convent of St. Eloise at Maillet-en-Honor, 100 feet from British field headquarters in Paris. I know where he is supposed to be. What is the point of all this, Hausmann? Well, Paul Joubert has practically become the eyes and ears of the German army. He delivered us the complete blueprints of the Maginot Line and can remove the England of... You do not have to sing Paul's praises to me. I am well aware he is the best spy in the Third Reich. The Englanders know that too. They put a reward of 10,000 pounds on his head. Twice they have captured him, and each time he has slipped from their fingers. They've gone so far as to distribute his photograph to all commanding officers and their staff. Hausmann, you are pondering the obvious. Now, what about this old farmer? He and Paul Joubert are exact identical in appearance. Well? I don't want grandfather over here. But suppose, Herr General, they found the dead body of Paul Joubert. Hausmann, you may have something there. Eines was noch. Put grandfather in one of our uniforms with Joubert's identity card in his pocket and allow the Englanders to find him dead behind our lines. Excellent. The English will spread the word of Paul's death to the other allies, and the real Paul Joubert will be free to continue his labors undisturbed. Hausmann, you are a clever man. Danke, Herr General. Do not worry, Hausmann. Word of this will reach the Führer himself. But now we do not have a moment to lose. The English are attacking Hill 701, which we are abandoning within the hour to straighten our lines. The perfect place for our little plan. Pick up a lieutenant, shoots with you. Ja, mein Herr. Keep the farm at the front lines until the order for retreat is given. Then shoot him. But do not disfigure him. And be sure to lay him out face upwards. I understand, perfect. Proceed immediately, Hausmann. Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler!
And then old Sam was forced into a Nazi officer's field uniform, a helmet placed on his head, and before he knew where he was going, he found himself at the front.
Look here, my legs are aching. When am I going back to my turnips?
You'll be back to the soil quite soon. Captain, we are in the forward area now, and the retreat has started.
Well, I ain't going no further. No. You're not about to take me back to Mr. Dodge's farm, and it makes no difference to me whether you shoot me or I get blown to bitsies by one of them exploding things. No. I'll have me a last pipe full of tobacco either way. pen keeps falling over my eyes.
Keep moving and keep that helmet on your head. Down!
Yeah, Capitan. That was too close. They have the range. Let us shoot him and get out of here.
Yeah. All right, grandfather. You can have your pipe full of smoke now. Are you ready to shoot?
Close.
Hey, fire!
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first, this Tuesday night, hear the premiere performance of 21st Precinct, a new hard-hitting mystery series revealing the inner workings of the world's largest police force. 21st Precinct, every Tuesday night on most of these same CBS radio stations. And now, back to Escape.
That same day, the sun was hot in the midday sky, as an hour later, a forward patrol of English Tommies rounded Hill 701 and saw the bodies of Lieutenant Schutz, Captain Houseman, and behind a rock, old Sam Gates, lying with his pipe still in his hand. They were about to move on when the corporal, coming up from the rear, stopped them.
Hold on a minute. What's that for? We've got to get back to battalion headquarters.
The one there with the pipe seems to be breathing.
Leave him to the aid boys. They'll be along in a bit.
Righto, Sergeant, but he might be a pretty big fish. That headquarters insignia he's wearing.
All right, Simpson. See if we can bring him around. But we'll have to be quick about it.
Yeah, the sun must have struck me down. Give me an awful set of dreams. Oh, my poor Red.
Can't make out what he's saying. Come on. Give him a hand. Get him up. We got to get a move on.
Is this the prisoner, Sergeant?
Yes, sir. He's a bit shaken, but otherwise he's all right, sir. Seems to understand English.
Name?
Sam Gates.
Rank?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Rank. Army rank.
Well, I've nothing to do with any armies. You mind telling me where the devil I am? Huh?
Speaks English like a native. Your identification card, please. Sig Diener Identification Karte.
Look here, what are you talking Nazi for? You're an Englishman, same as I am.
Search him, Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Here you are, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant. Well, the master spy himself, Paul Lupin. Well, you won't get away from us this time, Paul.
Well, has the whole world gone daft? My name is Sam Gates, and I was christened so by me maiden Aunt Christina. And I'm no Paul Joe Pierre, and I never was.
Good show, Paul. Good show.
My name ain't Paul. I can tell you where I was born and bred and who my wife is.
Yes, I'm sure you've got your story worked out to the last detail, but it won't do you a bit of good. You were tried by our court-martial September last, and the verdict still holds. You're going to be executed as soon as possible. Make out the order of execution, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
And you better take the staff car and run down to division headquarters and have General Cartwright sign it.
We really don't have much time, sir. The battalion has orders to move forward. Can't you proceed on your own, Mr. Oratory?
Not with General Cartwright. He worked his way up through the ranks, and he never quite got over it.
Yes, sir. He doesn't like it much if you get your officer's commission out of the university. I know.
And in particular, he's never forgiven me for having graduated from Oxford.
Well, capturing Dupere is going to be quite a feather in your cap, sir.
Yes. Well, I'll get going, Lieutenant. The General wants to witness the execution. Tell him we'll be over at the bombed-out farmhouse.
Yes, sir.
Squad, halt! Now, there won't be any delay, men. Sergeant, Corporal, advance the prisoner to the wall. Keep your rifles cocked.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir.
Joubert. Have you anything to say before the sentence is executed?
My name is Sam Gates, and if I was 20 years younger, I'd give you a punch in the ruddy eye. Why, you had me guilty before I opened my mouth. You can go to bloody blue blazes.
Oh, very well. Is there any last request you have to make?
I want to smoke out a last pipe full of tobacco in peace and quiet. And I don't want none of that white cloth blinding me eyes.
Request granted.
Begging your pardon, sir, but the general's driven up.
All right, Sergeant.
All right, Mosley. What's this all about? Is that Paul Joubert?
Yes, sir. A most remarkable man. He not only bothered to learn English, but he even went to the trouble of mastering our local dialects. Calls himself Sam Gates. Had me fooled at first, sir, but I kept after the scent.
Bring the prisoner here.
Right, sir. But I'm afraid you won't get much out of him. He sticks to his own story. Sergeant, march the prisoner forward.
Say your name is Sam Gates?
It is. And if you had any sense, you'd believe me. I was minding my business, owing Mr. Dodge's turnips in Alversham, when this daft aviator comes swooping down in his aeroplane, carrying up good sweet, and he snatches me away with him.
Kidnapped, eh? And how did you manage to get into a Nazi's officer's uniform? Explain that.
Oh, they was hatching something, that's what. They forced me to wear a tin bucket and green soldier suits and made me go along with them.
Aren't we wasting time, sir? We found Joubert's identification card in his pocket.
I told you they was hatching something. They put it in my pocket.
How much do you expect us to believe?
Oh, I don't ask you to believe anything at all.
We'll get to the truth soon enough. Where were you born?
Alversham. 3 miles from Mr. Dodge's farm, and what's more, I haven't set foot out of the country except once to visit the flower show at the market Roughborough. And today, to go flying about with that madman.
Alversham, eh? The perfect characterization. A pity to execute so fine an actor. Married?
Yes, I be.
And what's your wife's maiden name?
Annie Hatchett, as everyone in Alversham knows.
Good show. Who did you say you worked for?
Mr. Dodge. Charlie Dodge, and he raises horses and pigs besides.
And what you know, what do you grow besides turnips?
Runner beans.
Good show.
Sam.
Good show. Sam, then. Well, now see what you can do with this. What's the name of the local vicar? You don't know, do you?
Oh, I know well enough. But mentioning him set me thinking that I promised the vicar a pot of beans, which I never did bring. And what's worse, I ain't been to church in over a month of Sundays. Maybe that's why the Almighty's placed my life in the hands of a pair of silly gaffers like the both of you.
But you haven't told us who's the vicar's name, you know.
It's the Reverend David Price, and a fine man he is.
David Price? Wait a minute. I know a Reverend Price. He baptized my niece's cousin. What does he look like?
You're another one that's gone a bit loony, ain't you?
Just answer the question.
Well, if you know the Reverend, I don't have to tell you. He's got a mole on the left side of his face with a hair growing out of it. And his nose is crooked where a horse kicked him when he was 4 years old.
By heavens, he's right. The same man.
Well, what does that prove, sir? He might have met the man once.
And he might not be Paul Joubert after all.
Now you're getting some sense at last. And if it's this Paul you're after, well, I might be able to tell you where he's at.
Where, old man?
He was a gardener somewhere. Don't rightly remember. I couldn't make out much of what they were saying.
No fear. I'm afraid we might be able to check up on it, eh?
It's coming to me. There's some convent near the army headquarters in Paris. Mighty No, that's it.
Mountain-on-No? The convent St. Eloise, Mountain-on-O? Colonel, send a code message to Paris and order them to arrest the gardener immediately.
Yes, sir.
And report back as soon as you hear anything. Mr. Gates, you come along with me.
Reporting to the General, sir.
Well?
Message from GHQ. They've arrested the gardener, sir. He is Paul Joubert, all right.
You realize that Joubert might still be at large?
Yes, sir.
And Sam Gates here shot to death by his own people?
Yes, sir.
You're an Oxford man, aren't you, Moresby?
Yes, sir.
I never went to university. I worked my way up through the ranks. Dismiss! Gates, my apologies. Paul Joubert is under arrest, and your honor is vindicated.
Yeah, you'd have done better to listen to me in the first place.
I certainly would, sir. But you'll hear more of this. The king is certain to award you the Victoria Cross or something of that sort. Now, in the meantime, what can I do for you?
Well, I want to get back home.
That could be arranged.
Yeah, but I'd like to get home at tea time.
What time's that?
Well, 5 o'clock or thereabouts.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Ring up Wing Commander Jennings, RAF headquarters.
Yes, sir.
Jennings here?
General Cartwright, sir. One moment. Wing Commander Jennings, sir.
Right.
Wing Commander Jennings speaking.
This is General Cartwright. Have you flown the dispatch case out yet?
Oh, not yet, sir.
Good. There's a little matter which concerns the honor of the British Army.
Oh, what's that, sir?
A friend of mine's here, Sam Gates. He's come over from England to give us some valuable information. I promised to have him back at his farm at Aversham before tea time at 5 o'clock. Can you take a passenger?
Well, I might be able to manage it, sir, if I can ever find the place.
At a few minutes before 5, Wing Commander Jennings landed his light plane on Mr. Dodge's farm, being very careful to tear up as few turnips as possible. The commander shook hands with Sam and flew inland. The old man watched him and went slowly along and completed a line of turnips he had begun in the morning, as he watched for his niece Aggie to arrive with his parcel of food.
Hello, Uncle.
Yeah? Oh, hello, Aggie.
Well, Uncle, is there any news?
You asked me that very same question this morning.
Did I? Well, it's another day gone. Any news today?
News? What do you want, girl? What news should there be? Ain't it enough to earn a bite to eat and a glass of beer without always wanting news, news, news? Heh! Drat you and your news. Now, you get back home and fetch the pot of runner beans to the vicar, and you be quick about it.
All right, Uncle.
Oi! And you tell him I'll be at church on Sunday next for sure.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you A Source of Irritation by Stacia Monier, adapted by Meyer Dolinsky, and starring Ben Wright as Sam. Featured in the cast were Hy Averback, Paul Frees, Jack Crucian, Charlie Lung, Betty Harford, John Dodsworth, Alec Harford, Richard Peel, and Ramsey Hill. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week...
You're in the suffocating depths of a jungle, listening to the words of your companion, while the native people, seemingly friendly and quiet, are awaiting the moment to strike, which, when they do, will mean a fate from which there is no escape.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Somerset Maugham's exciting story, The Outstation. This Monday night, Walk a Mile, the fast, furious, funny quiz show starring Bill Cullen, is yours for fun at the Star's address. Be listening every Monday as Walk a Mile struts its stuff on most of these same CBS radio stations to make it an eventful evening, side by side with Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts and Crime Classics. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, the stars still shine in the Summer Theater every Monday night on the CBS Radio Network.
Nestle's Ever-Ready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk. And Nestle's chocolate bars now present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are on a strange planet 50,000 light years from the solar system. With their ship's water supply exhausted, they're kneeling beside a small lake to fill their canteens.
It's cool, sir. Fairly clear.
Fill the tester first, Hap. The water may be frozen.
Yes, sir. I'm so thirsty I can't... Hey, Commander, what was that?
Drop down, Happy. Someone's shooting at us.
Hey, somebody's coming over the rim of the crater. Try to draw my ray gun. Oh, that was close.
Range, Hap. If you don't stop him, next time he'll get us. Sure. We'll return in just a moment with a thrilling story, The Realm of the Robots. It's hot stuff.
What's hot stuff?
Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa.
Hey, that's hot stuff.
Well, that's what I said. Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa is hot stuff.
Well, what are we arguing about?
Oh, Hap, stop mixing me up. There's no argument about Nestle's Ever-Ready because everybody agrees it makes the most wonderful cup of hot chocolate in the universe.
You said a mouthful, Captain Tufel. Nestle's makes such a rich, chocolatey, delicious hot chocolate it's out of this world. And there's no mixing up either, because Nestle's Ever-Ready practically makes itself.
That's right. All you do is put 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of Nestle's Ever-Ready in your cup, add hot water, and it's made.
You don't have to add milk or sugar, because Nestle's is complete.
Yes, Nestle's has rich, whole milk and sugar already in it.
And you know something? What I like best about Nestle's is that sensational Nestle's flavor. There's nothing quite like it. It's real chocolatey, too. A terrific treat, any time of day or night.
Glad you mentioned that, Hap, because we always recommended hot chocolate made with Nestle's for a breakfast warm-up. But we also like to see Space Patrollers drink it at all their meals and snacks, too.
Now, what did you say was the name of this product?
Oh, Hap, you're kidding me again. You know it couldn't be anything but Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa.
In the bright red can. That's Nestle's, and it's hot stuff.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Realm of the Robots. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are aboard the Terra 5 on a special mission of exploration to Orion 14, a star 50,000 light years from the solar system. United Planets astronomers believe they've detected traces of a super radioactive element in the spectrum of the remote star. With a hyperspace vector set for Orion 14, Buzz and Happy are now waiting for their ship to emerge from faster-than-light star drive into regular rocket drive.
We're coming out of star drive, Hap. Get ready for our first close-up of Orion 14. Wow. A ball of bright hot fire.
Check the cosmic detector shield.
Right, man. Oh,
No harmful rays are getting through, sir.
Good. I will set up the instruments and run a spectrographic test of the elements on Orion 14.
Mind if I get a drink of water first?
Go ahead and bring me one, Happy.
Yes, sir. Well, just looking at that ball of fire makes me thirsty. Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
The water supply. I forgot to check it before we left.
What do the gauges say?
Port tank, empty. Starboard tank, empty. Reserve tank, bone dry. There isn't enough water aboard for a hummingbird to gargle with.
Oh, how about the canteens and the field equipment locker?
I goofed again, sir. Remember you ordered the entire water system purified, the pipes and tanks cleaned out, and the field canteen sterilized?
Yes.
Well, everything's sterilized, all right. Sterilized and empty. It's all my fault, sir.
Blaming yourself won't solve the problem.
Well, there's only one way to solve it. It's to go back to the solar system. Oh, am I going to take a ribbing for this? 50,000 light years out in space, and I have to go back for a drink of water.
There's a chance we won't have to go back, Hap. There's a planet over there about 10 million DUs away. It may have water on it.
Yes, sir, but if it doesn't have water on it, we're in a worse spot than ever.
It's got an atmosphere, man. You can tell by the way the light and the stars diffused around it. Well, I change vector. You set up the atmosphere testing equipment.
Decelerating as they approach the strange planet, Buzz scans the surface through the viewscope while Happy prepares to run a test of the atmosphere.
Well, it doesn't look very promising, Hap. Just mountains and desert so far.
But, Commander, things are looking up. There's hydrogen in the atmosphere and some oxygen.
The ingredients of water, at least.
Yeah, but the vapor content is awfully low, sir. At least at this altitude.
We'll be sailing close to the surface, Hap. Any trace of poisonous gases?
None so far, sir.
Hap, look over there. What does that look like?
Smoke and rockets. If it isn't a mirage, it's a lake.
A lake, all right. Or else it's the first mirage that ever fooled a viewscope.
Yeah, that's the most beautiful sight I ever saw. As soon as we sit down, I'm going to dive right in and not come up until I've drunk a gallon.
Oh, no, Hap. It's a small pool down inside a crater. Maybe poisonous. In fact, it may not be water at all, as we know. You get the test kit and 2 large canteens.
Yes, sir.
I'll set the ship down as close to the crater as I can.
After landing the ship on the strange planet, Buzz makes another careful sampling of the outside atmosphere before entering the airlock. Trying to conceal his impatience, Happy waits with 2 large, empty canteens strapped over his shoulders.
You're out there, breathable, Happy. We're going to find it very hot and dry.
I've got everything, sir. The test kit, the canteen.
Better fasten this to your belt.
Miniature space equipment.
That's a portable translator. For all we know, this planet may be inhabited. It might be considered enemy invaders. They could be caught down there at the lake if a spaceship comes in.
Yeah, that's right. If we hear any signals, we'll know that somebody might be looking for us.
Right. Okay, open the hatch.
Oh, am I thirsty?
Try not to think about it until we test the water. Close the inner hatch. We want to keep the ship's air cool. I'll open the outer hatch.
Oh, like an oven out there.
Let's make it a quick trip down the ladder.
Hey, this is desert, all right. Nothing but dried brush right up to the rim of the crater. It sure looks beautiful, like a mirror.
Yes, but it has no window or outlet. Let's make a test.
Here's the test kit, sir.
You give us a sample, huh?
Yes, sir. Hey, it's cooler than I thought it would be. And fairly clear.
It may be fed by an underground spring. All right, put the cap in the test tube and wait a full minute.
Yes, sir. But believe me, this minute is going to seem like an hour.
Watch the indicators, Hap. They'll tell us if it's water and if there's harmful bacteria.
Commander, what was that?
Stop at the ground, Hap. Somebody's shooting at us.
Somebody's coming over the rim of the crater. Down to the left.
I see. I'll put a gun on the ray gun.
Hey, that was close. It splashed water in my face.
Next time you'll get us, sure. I'll move the gun. Try to get him to talk. If we can tune in the translator correctly, maybe we can get him to listen to reason.
Yes, sir. Commander, this may be the last thing I do, but I'm going to take a drink of water.
Be careful, huh?
My face is almost in it. And, well, if I'm going to be shot anyway, why should I die thirsty?
Just moisten your mouth.
Okay.
Be easy.
Oh, I couldn't help it. It's wonderful. Sweet, cool water.
Still coming toward us. Oh, it's moving.
We're friends. We do not want to harm you.
Wait, Pastonia. People, down.
Keep trying different settings in that translator. I'll try to keep him talking.
Put away your weapon.
We're from the United Planets.
Una Pasca Mono. Soy hombre y cosa.
You understand anything?
No, sir.
Righty, Mirna Claus. Vidya Heno. I'm afraid I have made a mistake.
I've got it. Setting 97, Commander.
We want to be friends. Please put away your weapon.
I am sorry I shot at you. I thought at first you were of the ARG.
Oh, we're from a far distant world. We stopped here for water.
So there are other worlds with human beings. I knew it. That's what I kept telling Anila. The ARG may be watching. For your own safety, slake your thirst and leave Goodbye.
What's this ARG? Are they after you?
The ARG are the aberration rectifier group.
Huh? Commander, I think my translator's out of order.
Aberration is an error. Deviation from truth.
Exactly. And the function of the ARG is to detect these aberrations and correct them. I knew you weren't from the ARG when I saw you drink from the lake.
You mean the lake is poison or something?
No. But the ARG do not drink water. They do not need water or food.
Huh? What kind of human beings are they?
They are not human beings. They're robots. Mechanical creations in the shape of human beings.
Well, if I'm not getting too personal, what are they after you for? You seem like a nice sort of guy.
The Z-type ARG are after me because, well, I don't like to conform. I like to invent new ways to do my work. I like to wander through the city as I choose.
This makes you an aberration?
Yes. So the robots of the aberration rectifier group automatically follow me. I couldn't stand it any longer, so I ran away from the city. But I'm sure the DRIG isn't far behind.
What's your name?
Moon.
You haven't committed a crime, have you?
Crime?
Have you hurt anyone? You've taken something that belonged to another human being?
No. I'm being hunted because I do not follow the exact life pattern that the robots have directed.
You mean most people on this planet obey the robots?
Yes, all but a very few. Most of the aberrations are brought back into the line by the ARG.
Imagine being bossed by a bunch of Zards.
Zards?
Yeah, Z-A-R-G, Zards.
Mono, reckon you'd go to be safe from the Zards, is that what
I'm on my way. You must go quickly. Get to your ship.
What's the matter?
The robot has seen us. Look, he's coming toward us on the south end of the rim.
Come with us, Mono.
No. The robot is after me. If you run to your ship immediately, it will not harm you.
What'll it do if it catches you?
Make me helpless with the immobilizer.
You've got a weapon, the one you fired at us.
It's useless. I used the last shot shooting at you.
Then come on. Maybe we can get over to the rim before the robot can stop us. Let's go. Come on, Hap.
The robot's going farther down the rim of the crater.
We'll have to run faster. The robots are very swift.
It sure looks like a human being.
You'll know the difference if he gets close now.
We're not going to get close if we can help it. There's the ship.
It's going to be tough running through that brush.
It'll be tough on the robot, too.
He's getting closer. Hey, what's that?
I don't know. A new weapon, I guess.
The brush is on fire.
Stop the rockets. There's a wall of flame between us and the ship.
The robot's got a heat ray.
The Zard's closing in on us. We're trapped.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Say, Captain Truthbell, I just got my rocket cockpit. And boy, is it super.
You said it, Tony. The model of Commander Corey's XRC is the greatest thing we've ever offered Space Patrollers.
Let me tell about it, will you?
Sure, go ahead.
Gang, the rocket cockpit is a real scale model of the actual Space Patrol project, Infinity. It's more than a foot high, almost 2 feet wide. It's brightly colored, metal studded. It has moving parts, just like the real thing. You send and receive secret messages with the master code. They'll teach you a language only Space Patrollers can know. Fires a powerful atomic cannon. They're real secret. We govern the rocket mechanism with special gravity control handles. We set the special time computers to star drive. It takes you into the future centuries. Travels more than 100,000 miles an hour. Look through the big moving view scope. You see all the planets and their names, too. How would you like that?
Tony, it's my guess they'll like it fine. In fact, we hope that every single Space Patroller will send for a rocket cockpit for his very own.
Having a rocket cockpit is almost as good as having a real rocket ship, all your own. So get yours. It's real easy. Just send your name and address and 25 cents in coins. Plus 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle's. Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri.
The gang send today so you'll be ready to receive Commander Corey's secret messages. That's your name and address and 25 cents in coin, plus 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to today's Space Patrol adventure, The Realm of the Robots. Buzz and Happy have landed on a strange planet near Orion 14 to obtain water. They were fired upon by an inhabitant of the planet who later explained he thought they were robots. The Space Patrollers soon learned that the planet Gobonic is controlled by robots who keep the human population under constant surveillance. Suddenly, one of the human-like robots appears. Deciding to save their new friend Mono from capture by the mechanical men, Buzz and Happy race toward their spaceship. As they run through the dry brush, they suddenly find themselves facing a wall of flame.
Commander, we're cut off, and here comes the robot.
Wants to take us alive, or it would have used that flame ray on us.
A few more steps and we'll be helpless.
With the immobilizer ray, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, look, over there to the left. The flames aren't very thick. Shield your faces and run through the fire.
Sure, then the robot can't see us.
They can see through smoke.
No time to argue. If we break through the flame, we'll split up. We can confuse the robot. Maybe either Happy or I can reach the ship and get some weapons. Come on.
Stop. We're ordered to halt. The name of the Gobonic control system. The robot's got quite a set of pipes.
Spread out. You can only chase one of us.
Stop. You are ordered to halt in the name of the Gobonic control system.
Go on, Mono. Up the ladder into the ship.
Yes.
Halt. You cannot escape the ARG.
Commander, the robot's after your friend.
Run for the ship, Happy. Hurry.
Commander, wait for me.
Mono, that robot is made of metal, isn't it?
Yes.
You stay here at the hatch and help Happy aboard. I'm going forward and put on the magnetic repeller ray.
You are nearly within range of the immobilizer ray. Halt at once.
Somebody get a blaster, quick.
Hurry, Happy. Up the ladder. Give me your hand.
You have been warned.
Come on, Happy.
Oh, thanks, Mono. Let's close this hatch, quick. The robots are behind me.
The robot is now some distance away.
Smoke and rockets, what happened? Lying on its back, 200 yards out there in the brush.
It suddenly flew backward, as though hit by a strong wind.
I used the magnetic repeller ray, Happy. Knocked the metal robot for a loop, but couldn't attack you.
Oh, thanks, Commander. I thought I was finished for sure.
Close the hatch and blast off before the Zog gets himself back into gear.
Yes, sir.
Up forward, everybody.
Oh, while we were talking to Mono, I'd partly filled his canteen.
I can't get over it. Human beings mastering a robot. Remarkable.
Remarkable nothing. That's the way it should be.
All right, stand by for blast off.
Standing by, sir.
Close ports.
Close ports.
Fire jets.
Fire jets.
Up, ship and away. All right, Mono. Where can we take you?
You mean you direct your ship just as you like? You can go anywhere you want?
Well, just about. Anywhere within the limits of the ship's power.
No wonder.
You have space travel here in Gobonic?
There are spaceships. But I never heard of human beings traveling in them. They blast off at intervals full of cargo and then return empty to our city spaceport.
Where do they go?
I don't know. It's been going on for generations.
Wait, somebody must have charge of the robots. Don't you have a government, or at least a ruling class?
The robots are the ruling class.
How did they get to be? Who built the robots in the first place?
Nobody knows. In fact, very few human beings ever wonder about it. If they do, they do not speak their thoughts aloud.
Well, the Zards get them, is that it? Like the robot that was after us?
Yes. Few human beings have escaped from the cities. They live in groups of 4 or 5 on small farms. I was on my way to one of those farms when I saw you.
Tell us where it is and we'll take you there.
That's very kind of you.
I can't see how people would let themselves get in that position. Unless they gave you a lot to eat and a lot of luxuries.
No, that's not the case. We're given only enough food to enable us to do the required work. There are no luxuries except for the administrators.
The administrators? Who are they?
A few highly skilled engineers who attend to the needs of the robot mechanism. The administrators replace defective parts in the computers.
I see. The administrators get extra food and luxuries, so they're satisfied to keep the robots in control.
That is right, Commander.
Sometime in the past, living, intelligent beings must have put those robots in charge of the planet.
Yeah, and once the system got rolling... Commander, look. The starboard view scope.
A spaceship. Oh, no. Is that one of your Gobonic ships? Yes, they blast off from the city at regular intervals. Do they have human pilots, or are they robot-controlled? I'm not sure. I think they're robot-operated. Well, with a human being at the controls, it might be too much temptation.
To escape from Corbett, you mean?
Yes.
I'd sure like to know where the ship's headed.
Do you know, Mono? No. But there's no way to obtain information. If it does not directly concern your work, you do not ask questions. What is your work? I mean, what did you do before you left the city? I was a feeder in the document reclamation plant.
Huh?
When the records are no longer of any use, they were brought to the reclamation plant. I fed them into a vat where they were dissolved and later made into new paper. Mono, did you ever examine any of those documents? Yes. It is forbidden that I have examined some of those documents before I threw them into the vat. I even saved scraps of them. What did you see in those documents? The totals of what we produced, how much we had received. Only half of our wealth remains on Corbett to be distributed among our people. The rest, well, I don't know where it goes. If we follow that spaceship, maybe we'll find out.
Already checked its vector, Commander.
Good. The robots rule Corbett. Now let's see who rules the robots.
Keeping the robot ship in the viewscope, Buzz trails it on its long, curved trajectory over the star Orion 14. Finally, another planet comes into view, and Happy, following the commander's instructions, runs a series of tests on the distant world.
Commander, I've got the periscope focused now. I can see a city on that planet, and the robot ship is coming in for a landing.
Let me look in. It's a big city, all right. But something's wrong. These buildings are in ruins. There's no sign of activity anywhere.
Then why is the robot ship landing there?
This is incredible. Some horrible disaster struck that city. The buildings are smashed and gutted. The streets are choked with rubble.
Smoke and rockets.
Now, take a good look at those ruins now. What do you see?
A lot of weeds and brambles. And a lot of rubble is covered with something that looks like moss.
A living soul in sight. The city was destroyed years ago, perhaps even a century.
But that robot ship is...
Take a look at the spaceport. The ship had just dumped its cargo. Now it's blasting off. Mono, I want you to see this. Look into the periscope.
Yes, ma'am. The whole area is stacked with supplies, mountains of it.
That's where half the wealth of your planet has been going for generations.
Right here, in the heart of this ruined city, and never used.
There's another robot ship in the viewscope, sir. Coming in with another cargo, I guess.
Yes, they'll keep coming for another 100 years unless the people of Corbett overthrow those robots.
Commander, when Mono gets this news back to the people, he'll be a real hero instead of a fugitive.
You don't understand, Happy. The Z-type robots, Zargs as you call them, would silence me before I could speak.
Something sure ought to be done about it.
I can spread the word among those who have already escaped from the city. Perhaps in time we can build up an organization and eventually get the truth to the slaves of the robot.
You want us to take you to that farm you mentioned?
I'd appreciate it, Commander.
All right, Mono. Change back to Hap. We're returning to Corbett.
More than an hour later, the Terra 5 settles down in a forest clearing on the planet Corbett. As Buzz opens the outer hatch, he and Happy can see a small log hut set back among the trees.
Oh, Mono, you ought to be safe here.
At least I shall be free. And I can raise enough food for my own needs. There's a small spring behind the hut, so I'll have plenty of water.
That reminds me. One full canteen of water will see us back to our own solar system.
Of course, Commander. If one of you will come with me.
Have you stay here in the ship, check the spacephone frequencies. There's a chance that the robot detectives may have seen our ship.
Yes, sir.
If you pick up anything that sounds like trouble, signal me. I'll set my miniature spacephone to emergency channel 5.
Okay, Commander. Goodbye, Mono, and good luck.
Thank you, Happy. And I hope we'll meet again when we human beings control our own destiny.
You'll conquer those robots, don't worry.
It's certainly nice and cool under these trees. Very peaceful. Hold a minute. Something moving in front of the
Halt. By order of the Corbett control system.
There's another one.
Having trouble, Commander?
2 Zargs, Hap. Cut on the repeller ray.
Hope you're not out of range. Here goes.
We got one of them, Hap. The repeller ray smashed him against a tree trunk.
How about the other one?
He's still coming toward us.
That's not a robot.
It's one of the administrators. Cut the repeller ray half and stand by.
Yes, sir.
Stand right where you are. Both of you.
Better do as he says, Commander. The weapon he's holding could destroy both of us in a flash.
That is correct, Mona. I have every right to destroy you right now. You have committed the capital offense of harming the robot.
Mono had nothing to do with it. The robot was smashed by my order.
And who are you?
I'm from another solar system. I don't know anything about your laws here in Gobonic, but I wrecked your robot in self-defense.
Self-defense? Huh! A human being has no right to resist a robot. The robots are the supreme authority of Gobonic.
Yes? Who made them the supreme authority?
That does not matter. Anyone who would question the authority of a robot is an idiot and a criminal.
Mono says you're an administrator. Have you ever questioned a robot's decision?
No, never. I am Roknar, administrator of Class H functions of robot control. To suggest that I, Roknar, would question a robot is an insult.
Roknar, listen.
Silence! In a moment, this weapon in my hand will wipe you off the face of Gobonic, as though you never existed.
Hap.
Yes, sir?
Full repeller ray, a quick blast.
Commander, his gun is gone.
His metal. The repeller ray whipped it out of his hand. Now, Roknar.
No, I am an administrator.
Knocked him out.
Is everything all right, Commander?
Yes, Hap. As I fill this canteen, I'm bringing Mono back to the ship. But Commander, it isn't safe for you here. And you want to fight the robots, don't you?
Yes, of course.
Well, come on. Get out of here before Roknar comes to.
We're almost up to star drive velocity, Commander.
Fine, Hap. Don't look so sad, Mono. You'll be seeing Gobonic again soon.
I was thinking of all those people. Generations of them working endlessly, uselessly for nothing.
You'll find a way to bring them the truth, Mono. As soon as Happy and I report to our government, we'll bring you back to Gobonic.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Hi, Space Patrollers. Commander Corey here. As I promised, I've got a secret message for you. It's the Space Patrol password. Now, write it down. Then turn the right-hand master code dial on your rocket cockpit to each symbol. The actual letters appear in the little window. Now, here goes. E2, L5. That's E2, L5. Second word. N1, O12, L5. T18, E20. Repeat. N1, O12, L5, T18, E20. Now you have the official password. You can have so much more fun with your rocket cockpit. It's equipped with moving stratobiewer, speed controls, secret star drive mechanism, and sensational working atom cannons. Now, don't miss out on all the fun. Write for your rocket cockpit today, before the offer expires. Send your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, along with 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars, to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are walking across the spaceport of a deserted, ruined city on the planet Wormuk.
Hap, look up there, Hap. You know that big stack of supplies.
It's an opening in the ground.
Was it there a minute ago?
Yes, I don't know. I don't think so. Look, the rockets. Look what's coming out of that hole. It's a giant beetle.
It's a robot tank.
Whatever it is, it's a monster. And it's coming toward us.
Get back to the ship, Hap. Hurry.
Commander, the robot's right behind us.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Watchman of Wormuk. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, Bela Kovac, and Tony Sides. Dick Tufeld speaking. This week's Space Patrol was brought to you by Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk, and famous Nestle's chocolate bars. This program is broadcast for our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood.
This is ABC Radio Network.